Hello and welcome. I'm Mercy, the Game Master at Here There Be Monsters, and we're back with another episode in the Kingdom of Rin. I'm super glad that you are here. Our players are glad that you are here as well. Unfortunately, Druj was not able to join us today, but that is because he has phenomenal news. He had his graduation ceremony from Fire Academy yesterday, and he is celebrating with family, friends, and many loved ones. So, of course, we will miss him, but super proud of him and excited for him, and what a fantastic reason not to be here. For those of you that are here, whether that's live or you're watching the video on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. And as a quick recap, last time the players were licking their wounds, or the player characters were licking their wounds after the battle with the dire puma, and they made their way back to town and got some help from Auric, the dwarven stonemason, who's going to be helping with some of the stonework at Fort Leona. And they ran into him building a plinth for a statue that's going to be made to commemorate the Battle of Capstone near the gates. He helped them get to the Fool and Flask Tavern, their usual haunts in town. And they had a small drinking contest, not anything too crazy like they've done in the past, and then made their way home and slept off both their hangover and their journey, because it was a very dangerous trip out this last time. They had several close encounters, near-death experiences, and they took a little bit of time to recoup. When they woke up in the morning, they found that someone had been in Rubato's room at Scath-Bais's parents' house, and after a bit of back and forth, they discovered that to be Aamina Noctigal, the gnomish proprietor of one of Rubato's newest favorite businesses. Needless to say, Scath-Bais herself and her parents were none too happy that the proprietor of Fortune's End had potentially been inside of their house or somehow gotten an item into their house, whether that was mundane or magical. There was some back and forth about that, and ultimately they went and confronted Mina and resolved that social situation. I won't give away everything, of course. You can catch up on the video from last time. After that, we had some work done with the newly hired castellan of their soon-to-be-built Fort Leona, and some other role play around town. And then we ended at the Fool and Flask again, where the adventurers were discussing what they wanted to do next, what order they wanted to try and accomplish several things that they've committed to doing. And Druj, our lovable half-orc, surprised everybody by both simplifying and complicating their lives by offering to buy a carriage. Thank you. A carriage. I described it as more like stagecoach quality. It's more like an Old West stagecoach, but a carriage. Thank you in chat there. Wow, total brain fart. That's where we left off. Druj surprised our party with the offer to spend his personal funds to buy a carriage for the party, and we kind of faded to black as they enjoyed their beverages and some food and kind of reminisced about recent adventures and planned for their next one. That's where we'll be picking up here in just a second. First things first, though, our transitional video here, recorded for us by our friend the Bookfather, his reading of my poetry, which is a prayer to Bana the Peacebringer in our world. It would be commonly said by many people in the Kingdom of Rin, because the Kingdom of Rin is predominantly human and predominantly monotheistic, and kind of a fun way to set the scene and get into character and whatnot. So enjoy, and we'll be back with you shortly.
The peace was lasting, long and true. From mountains to the ocean's blue. Man and elf and dwarf and gnome lived together, hearth and home. The cities grew, then kingdom came, the wise and true. Long may he reign. From cult to church, the truth was spread. The heretics were filled with dread. First they lied, and then they stole. The peace we had, no longer whole. They sought to kill and undermine, but truth was found before the time. We banished them, all but a few, then built ourselves a kingdom new, no longer marked by war and sin. Banar did give his grace to men. No gods, nor fiends, not great nor small, can penetrate his peaceful wall. From mountains to the ocean's blue, this peace will last us long and true.
Oh, here we go. What's happening, people?
Players.
Hello.
Looks like we've made it.
So, to set the scene for y'all, if you didn't have the intro unmuted there, we are in the evening of the 8th day of late spring, and we pick up at the Fool and Flask as you all nurse what's left of your drinks and process the fact that you now / soon will own a carriage.
It'll be great, guys. It'll be wonderful.
This better not come back to bite us later.
Why would it come back to bite us?
What happens if we're traveling and the beasts of burden get murderated by goblins?
That's why we protect the carriage.
I'm just saying, if we've got like 10 of them attacking us and we're fighting them, that means it leaves...
They're attacking us, though, not the oxes. Like, assumably, goblins and orcs are somewhat intelligent creatures and would also want the ox.
So if there's more than 6 of them, and we're entangled with 6 of them, that leaves the other remainder to steal the stuff while we're fighting the bad guy. Saying.
I mean, I suppose so, but it's stuff that we wouldn't normally have because we wouldn't be able to carry it with ourselves. Anyway, so if we lose it, then we're not losing anything we wouldn't have anyway.
Save for, the money that was spent on the oxen and the things.
Druge paid all of that out of his own pocket. I mean,
typical person of nobility. Oh, it's not my problem because I didn't spend the money on it.
It's okay.
I mean, that is how it works.
The label of property of Bana on the back.
I don't know if that will help.
We gotta carve an angel into the back. So this cart is watched over by who's your dude, Alondite?
As of recently, all of them.
Oh, well.
I pledged myself to all that Bana is, but no, the Archangel of Justice, Chan, I believe.
And
yeah, we could say this cart's watched over by Chen. Carve it into the back.
Saying I don't think the goblins would care about that, but sure. Whatever makes you sleep better at night.
You're giving your carriage a tramp stamp?
Mm-hmm. A bumper sticker.
Got it.
Should we carve out little stick figures of all of us?
Yes.
You can
that'll be up towards the top, little stick figures of us and little Rubato.
Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, does one of you have a kid?" No, that's just Rubato.
No, that's just Rubato. He's just 2 feet tall,
I can't help that I'm small, okay?
Just in the off chance, does that mean another carriage is going to pass us by that has the out of character, the AT-AT family that's just like, I don't care about your stick figure.
Exactly.
Can't we do ours with the little skeleton figures? I like that style better.
That's just too far.
Only if you can draw them, Rubato. Only if you can.
I can draw.
All you can use this new fancy spell to do it into the wood.
Oh no, I could change the wood to something else though if you want.
Which sounds like a euphemism, but you mean really.
Right, Racy?
Well played, well played.
So, all in favor of the carriage?
I think Drudge already paid for it. I think it's...
Yeah, I think you guys got to
Done.
at least enough of an impasse that he was like, all right, well, I'm doing it anyway.
I heard there's tax rebates going around too, so...
Did you say there's a tax break?
Yeah.
How does that work if I'm not a citizen of the country?
Well, I guess you have to apply for citizenship.
I haven't been paying taxes on things.
Well,
It's not
But
exactly
you
a
might have-
sales tax. It's more of like taxing the landlords and whatnot. Okay. Is there anything else that anybody wants to do, in character tonight, or if you want to hit the sauce, or anything like that, or?
I mean, Rubato and Scath-Bais have been drinking a bottle of wine this whole time, so.
Okay. Well, in that case, you should probably make some some fort saves.
Okay, yeah. How far in have we gone?
I don't know. We've just been drinking from the bottle.
I guess we'll let
Just
the
from the
DM
bottle.
decide.
Oh yeah, no, I've just been passing it back and forth.
Yep. So how many saves are we making?
I have no idea. I lost count.
There's not actually that many drinks in a bottle of wine. But it depends on whether or not you're going to continue drinking. If the two of you have shared a half of a bottle of wine, then you probably have only actually had like 2 drinks each.
That sounds about right.
That's usually plenty for me, so I'm gonna roll.
Oh,
Excellent. Starting things off just right.
Mm-hmm. These my spellbook is looking extra squiggly tonight.
what is it? Fort? Wiz? What am I
Yeah, it's a fortitude saving throw. Your first one was like a 12 or 13, and then it goes up.
That was a 21.
Okay, yeah, so you're good there.
That's a 4.
I rolled a 3 and a 14.
So I had a 21 and a 4.
Ouch.
Okay, so you both failed one then.
Yes.
Rubato, however, gets hit fairly hard by it.
Is it 2d4?
1d4 Dex and 1d4 Whiz.
I thought it was 1d2.
Or sorry, 1d2, yeah. So you lose 1 Dex for Scath-Bais. Okay, so Scath-Bais loses 1 of each, and Rubato loses 2 of each.
Not good.
It works since you're about half her weight and you had about the same amount of alcohol. So
Oh, we're gonna have to drag you back to my house again, aren't we? I didn't think
Depends
this
on how
through.
much more we drink. I think I'm gonna have to put the spell book away for now. I can't read anymore.
Yeah. Make sure you actually put it away and don't drop it.
In my jacket.
I mean, obviously, if there's anything like any other in-character conversations that anybody wants to have, feel free to cut in. But otherwise, we can just continue the it's not a contest per se, but the drinking contest, for lack of a better word.
I
was
just drinking because I was bored.
What was that, Alondite? Sorry.
I'm just for this one, I'm gonna quietly excuse myself.
Wait, where are you going?
Enjoying your newfound piety.
Something like.
Where are you going?
Just kind of trying to politely ignore her.
Really, friend? We're supposedly bestest friends since we were little. He's ignoring me.
Wow.
I see how it is.
I can be your
one of those,
friend.
Little waves. Just yeah.
It's okay, Scath-Bais. You have Rubato now too.
That's fine. All right. Well, I hand the bottle to Bahir then. Here, have a drink
I'll
with
take
us.
it.
I'll get another
Sure.
bottle. I still have gold.
I feel like you gave me a bottle already. Or was that another time we were drinking?
That was the last time.
Oh, okay.
So I gotta make sure somebody can carry Rubato back to my house because I can't.
He weighs 30 pounds, dripping wet.
I am weak.
I was gonna say, just throw him over the back of your shoulder.
I have a strength modifier of 0.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the average person could carry Rubato.
Yeah,
I'll give it a shot then.
I literally weigh 30 pounds.
He's 2 feet
I just
tall.
made up a number.
Yeah, 33 pounds is how much Rubato weighs.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it.
He's
All
a real
right, so-
small boy.
Are you finishing the bottle, or are you taking it with you?
How much is left in it?
Like half
4
of-
more drinks.
Yeah, 4 drinks.
Like 4 more? Let's do it. So it's what, D20, it's fortitude save?
Yeah, fortitude saves. So the first one's 13. The next one's 14. The next one's 16. The next one's 20.
So I saved that one. That's the first one. That's 18. That saves, right?
13, 14, 16, 20.
Okay, 13, 14. This one's 16. Ooh, don't say that one.
No.
All right. Is it Dex and Wisdom? Dex. Ooh, 2. Wisdom. Ooh. Snake eyes.
Oh man.
Okay, I didn't mean to roll again. And then another one. Oh,
Nice. Okay.
so that was what? That was number 3 or number 4? I
That
can't
was the
remember.
last one. I'm pretty sure that was number 4.
That was the last one. All right. I'm a little buzzed, but other than that, I'm
yeah,
good.
not bad, really. So you guys down your bottle of wine over the course of an hour ish, and while you're chatting away, and you're all like you said, a little buzzed, but maybe not quite as ready to walk a tightrope, but that's considering how you guys usually leave the Fool of Flask.
All right, Bahir. I want to hear one thing about where you come from.
One thing about where I come from.
One thing, maybe more, but I want to hear something about.
There is a lot of sand everywhere.
Okay.
No, you live on a beach.
Is it special sand?
Is it what?
Is it special sand?
Well, it's it's deserty.
Is it rough? Is it coarse? Is it irritating?
It is
everywhere?
rough, course, irritating. It's everywhere.
What are the buildings?
Kind
Do
of
you
made.
use sand to make the buildings? Wouldn't that make your buildings fall apart?
Well, somewhat. There's like sandstone that we can use to make buildings. I'm sure you guys have sandstone around here too. You just don't use it as much as we might use it.
Sandstone.
Mm-hmm. It's like stone, but sand colored.
Oh. They're all
Well, that makes sense.
wait, they're all beige buildings? There's no color?
Kind of. I mean, there's color with like the claws and stuff like that we use, but and like you can paint the sides of the buildings as well. Like some people make paintings on the sides, but
Okay. Why did you leave? Where are you going?
I thought I've told us this before.
Well, we're having story time, so story tell.
I do like a good story before bed.
Well, my brother left at one point because my father is going kind of crazy, and our stepmother who's there is helping him along to go crazier. So we're trying to find solutions here.
Is she poisoning him?
I don't know.
You need her taken care of.
I mean, yes,
I have a
eventually,
guild.
but well, I don't know how far reaching your guild is, but it's a ways over an ocean, so we'd have to sail there.
Do you have a boat? Wait,
Oh
do you
no,
have a boat?
Oh no! I snuck onto like a merchant ship that was heading this way.
Snuck? You snuck?
I mean, I didn't have to do very much sneaking.
With your
Like
shiny, loud armor?
the people there knew who I was, so it wasn't that hard to
Oh,
sneak into a boat.
Did you use money to sneak into the boat? Is that how you snuck onto the boat?
Well, no, there were still some people who liked me, but didn't necessarily like my father. So like I was able to,
Oh,
use some connections.
got it.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to find your brother.
And kill your stepmom.
Yeah,
All right.
that's why I want to go, because I saw when we went to Angela's and I did the what do you call it? The seeing thingy. You know what I mean.
I was there. I remember. Yes.
Yeah, the thing. He was up north and like fighting with elves, killing. I think it was like orcs or goblins. I can't remember, but
What did these elves look like?
kind of like the three that were here before.
Oh.
I need to go find those three because I want to ask them a few questions. See if we can't narrow down the location a little.
Whatever happened to that bard? One that got mad because Rouge burnt.
Druge burned his
Yeah.
shoes.
Did he ever
That's
come
terrible.
back?
I had to give him a good pair of boots.
Oh.
Oh, he did. Remember, we were talking with him when all that stuff happened.
Yeah, where'd he go? He gone?
I don't
Did he
know.
just leave?
I feel like I talked to him before he left
Did
to
he?
like solidify like him going and like sending people my way, but I don't know where he went. What about you, Rubato? Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from up north, Tardegli, Alberi. The Brio clan. We all kind of come from up there.
Are the like families all in like clans up there, or
Yeah.
is it like
we're all kind of family clans, all in the Kaladarm. And that's Brios. We're pretty well known. We're not like rich or anything, but our families done some work and been around.
How'd you end up in the forest again? You said you were on like a... With your parents, you said? You were like walking around, you got lost?
Yeah, we were heading down south to investigate some newly discovered ruins. We heard that there was some interesting things down here, and I got separated. And then chased by the shadow people, you know. And you know the rest from there pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe your parents went home.
Well, that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm glad we're going to be going up there to bring something for Angela, because there's only one way to find out. But there was that one elf in the caravan who said that my home was no longer there, so I don't know.
How is that possible?
I feel like there's something has to be there if Angela's sending us there, right?
Yeah, she sent us up to that area. I don't think
I feel like she would know.
Home.
Oh.
It was at your home. I mean, not your house, but...
She wrote the address down and everything. It was my house. It was...
Yeah, I would think like if something happened and it wasn't there anymore, she would know. And
but did we ask?
Was he giving us something else to do?
Did we ask her that?
No, of course not.
No,
I feel like that would be an important question.
If she's sending there to carry something up there, I don't think she would send this up there where there's nobody at, you know?
That is a good point. And that elf was very rude to me, too. So
he was kind of, and he was a coward. Did you see him run away when those orcs attacked us while we were walking up there?
No, I was unconscious.
Him and his little elk. Oh, that's right. There's the orc in that tree.
Yeah.
He's the kind of noble that I really don't.
I don't even think he was a noble. I think he was just a merchant, but...
Well, he had some kind of money if he's a merchant. That's how
he was a wine merchant.
I feel like you just don't like people who have money. I don't know.
I don't like people who use their money to make themselves appear better than.
Well...
It has been my distinct interaction with them. We should talk to Angela tomorrow.
Everybody's from my home. Everybody was pretty. I'm playing, even playing grounds. We didn't have super rich or the poor. We kind of just took care of ourselves.
I'm super rich. Well, I was super rich, but
But your father's going crazy since your stepmom wants his money?
Yeah, kinda. And they have a child together and she wants him to inherit, but it's supposed to be my brother. And, it's just a whole mess. Politics,
I tend to avoid them.
Politics have always been interesting.
We'll have to go up there sometime eventually, Maybe you can help me out and fix some problems.
I can fix problems. That's what I do.
I'd love to help. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll probably have to make our way there eventually. You can't run from home forever, right?
Yeah.
We finished the wine, didn't we?
Yeah, we're all out. We're all out.
I'm done. I'm spent.
You sure? I could buy one more bottle.
Well, I mean, I'm still standing. Or sitting, at least.
I hear you want to go another round.
Oh, I better not. I've been kind of slacking on my training in the mornings lately because I keep getting sloshed here, so...
I guess if we want to hit Angela's shop tomorrow, it might be a good idea to go to bed. Can you walk, Rubato?
Yeah, what's Alondite doing?
I don't know.
I don't know where he went.
He didn't want to hang out with us anymore, apparently.
Rachel left too. What the heck? You know what? I think they're secretly in a relationship. They both disappear at the same time without telling us where they're going. I mean,
I thought George was right behind you.
no, that's a tree stump.
Remember,
Well, I forgot.
it's that fancy tree stump chair. Remember?
Yeah, but I'm sitting on it.
I forgot about that part myself. So I'm memeing about Perusian tree form outside of Angela's shop. But yes, also you have it.
Yeah, he's
You
just
have a
sitting here
tree stump
listening to
chair
us.
currently giving a thumbs up that Fire sitting on.
All right, let's go home. Come on, Rubato.
All right.
Are you sure you don't want to come with us, Fire?
Where exactly? Is the
Maybe
position
I'll
of
crash
that one?
there. Why not? I haven't been there before.
All right.
Or I've been there before. I haven't slept there before, though, but sure.
Let's go.
All right. You're better mine.
You're adorable.
You're asking Bahir, right?
He's had a couple to drink. He doesn't know.
Whose bed?
Well, come on. There's plenty of beds for everyone to have their own bed.
Okay.
Plenty might be overselling it a little bit.
There's like one more space.
I mean, Robato's small enough, you can kind of sleep at the foot of the bed like a like a house
Like
cat.
a dog.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rubato, keep my feet warm.
How lewd.
It's the smallest ones that take up the most space.
Yeah, I spread out. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, we head home. So whatever Alondite's doing. Aaron,
Yeah.
anything?
1 second.
Do we have any dark alley maps?
I don't know. No, we'll just have to theater of the mind that.
All right, it's not that important. It's just like kind of just creating if there's any interactions between like it's dark at night. High profile targets such as myself. I mean, we do know the guy who, docs were named after all.
It is true. It is true.
But I'm heading to the church to essentially get something off my chest and address how everything came to be in the renewal of spirits and discuss something that came to mind about the fort and maybe some employment opportunities and linking something that is a little more legal, possibly.
Okay. Yeah, we can. I can move us over to the capstone board. Yeah, you can camera over to kind of like the church area / courtyard, sweetie.
I don't exist. No, seriously, I don't exist.
No, I know. I have to move you one at a time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wish I wish they'd add a thing for like creating a group and then ideally moving that group, or at least mass selecting. I guess that group maybe is better. Oh, yeah. You should have you now. I put you in front of the church if for some reason
I seized myself.
Things.
Coming in late night. Is it what time is it?
It's pretty late by this point, like probably closing in on midnight. Although I will say this is where you are looks vaguely alley-ish. You've interacted with, or at least been around when Scath-Bais has interacted with her guild leader before, right?
I would be. They don't have a uniform or anything that I would identify, but sort of, but not like exactly how I feel now. Like kind of like uneasy, maybe.
Sure. No, that's fine. I mean, you can take that into it. So yeah, while you're kind of cutting your way through the alleys to get over to the church after leaving the tavern, with much on your mind, maybe not being quite as alert as you might otherwise be, when you round a corner, like somebody in kind of a dark hood like steps out in front of you.
Sort of step back and be like,
for context, we all have similar like marking type thing, so you would recognize like the markings of somebody from my guild.
But being unawares and my spot being a -4,
True.
See it in this situation.
So as you, I'm going to take that out of character like conversation as an in character pause, right? You're kind of startled. There's not like aggressive or anything. You just stepped out like right in front of you. You might even have your initial reaction might even be like oh sorry, like kind of like almost like you're bumping into or pushing past somebody in a crowd or whatever. And then like you maybe make a little sidestep. He makes a little sidestep, stay in front of you. And he just kind of like waits for a second until you like clue in, on him, and then he goes, "Tell Scott I need to talk to her tomorrow," and just like turns around and walks away.
Is there a name or a phrase?
I mean, that's all he said.
Yeah, I kind of like as we're walking away, and there's like when you say it, but you're not looking at each other. That's what I say is like, is there a name or a phrase?
It's the last news.
And if I don't get a reply, they'll just keep going.
Yeah, he doesn't reply, and then cuts away from you as soon as there's like a turn or a building that he can squeeze between or whatever.
Just for context, I want to see do a spot check to see if I would see any markings to make sure that I'm 100% sure. Gotta let the dice decide. You can't just make these things up.
The dice tell a story.
They do.
Hey, not bad with your
got it.
-4.
Yeah, you kind of like double take as he's walking away between two other buildings from you, and then you're like, oh, like, okay, yeah, wow, I was not paying attention. That's Pixie's guild leader, or sorry, that's Scath-Bais' guild leader, Brienne.
Brienne of Tar. All right. And like just for that brief moment, I like actually stop and like try to become more aware of my surroundings. So like if there's like they're on the rooftop watching me.
Oh man, he's in the shadows.
Like
but
that would like make anyone, I think, would be like realize like they knew I was here. Like they know where I was going. It's like, where are they?
You don't see any signs of anybody else.
All right. I kind of just slowly make my way, trying to be more alert for the bird.
The rest of your walk is uneventful. It's not that far from where you came from. Maybe like 100 yards or maybe 200 at most. Yeah, of course, if you're cutting around between buildings and whatnot, it takes a little longer, but still, you're talking a couple minute walk at most.
All right. And there's like no activity in the church or anything.
I mean, there's always a few people about, between just various duties and whatnot. You've got probably one person around doing some form, like an acolyte, probably in the floor or something, and maybe one person changing out any candles that have burnt down. Probably one person off to the side, like waiting to petition for whatever, presumably medical aid would be like the most common thing, but talk to him, find out.
Okay. When I answer,
there's probably 3 or 4 total people within sight, so it's not totally empty, not a lot.
And the closest one is the acolyte.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go up to the acolyte and I'll be like, respectful acolyte, and like in a whispering tone, who's on duty tonight? Who's in charge?
He's kind of minding his business, like mopping the floors. Turns around and sees you, and is like, "Oh, good evening, sir." Kind of bows his head briefly. That'd be the father tonight. I believe he's out in the garden, but you could also check the office. I have to admit, I haven't been paying too much attention. There's a lot of floor to scrub.
Sorry, then that's exactly who I would need to talk to. I won't keep you any longer. Then thank you very much for your assistance.
Yeah, he's been keeping rather odd hours. Leona was usually a little bit more willing to kind of share the night burden around, but Rosalind's been kind of commanding the day shift, so to speak, because she's getting ready to, depart, and she's been working on logistics and whatnot. So, wanted to work when other people were working, which I suppose is fair, but it just, kind of drives home Leona's absence, I guess, more.
Break starting in 5.
Sorry, what was his name? The father in charge today?
I forgot.
Okay, I'll make a space for it for after.
Yeah. Well, and I said father kind of reflexively. That's also actually not usually a term that I usually use, but I was trying to kill to see if I could remember what his name was. You committed the cardinal sin. You asked the DM an NPC's name. I do have it. It's just I didn't write that down where I normally write that down either. It's not Lloyd. Okay. No, there it is. Ambrose. Found it.
Ambrose.
He's the head cleric of this church.
Perfect. I'll make my way to the gardens.
Ambrose Leclerc.
Leclerc.
Sorry, I've said that guy's name exactly one other time, which was in a situation relatively similar to this. So.
Oh, yeah, he's the guy with the lizard eyes.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's got green glowy eyes.
All right, so yeah, you step out into the garden, and he's like kneeled down at the edge of the pool, and presumably in prayer or meditation or something.
Go. Excuse me, Father. I hate to disturb you.
You know, you're not exactly quiet, so he doesn't like jumpstart or anything like that, but he like doesn't immediately react. And then after a brief pause, maybe like 5 seconds or so, he turns to you. Like, good evening, Sir Alondite. What's troubling you?
I've had some life events that have changed me, and I just need some insight and some wisdom as to what has happened and some clarity.
I've lost an eyebrow. He's like, well, haven't we all, I suppose? Yes, I assumed at some point that, you know, after the battle and everything that we went through there, that we would have a talk at some point.
I admit I had fallen astray, and certain events and an almost loss of friends and events have made me deepen my faith and commitment. And through those commitments, I feel I've grown stronger in my beliefs. And I've made those mistakes, and I've repented, and I just want to make sure that the gift that I may have received, is it true? Has Bana come back to me? Things have happened, and I can't make sense of it all. I know I'm speaking nonsense.
Well, we were all blessed that day when the Archangel Ashare came to bless Rosalind's knighting. I suppose, you know, the right collection of events may have brought together that holy power at a time when your heart was more open to receive it, and you know, and our divinity was more willing to reconnect with it. I cannot tell you if your connection is permanently restored, or you know, I think only you through communion with Bana will learn the full extent of what has or hasn't happened. What has happened? Because you didn't really define like what that means.
So, am I? I don't feel worthy. Am I forgiven? Is everything as it's meant to be?
Kind of chuckles. You'll have to discover that for yourself. the most obvious representation of your connection with powers of peace would be your access to, the abilities that Bana and the angel grant to all of us. So are you able to access those powers in the way that you did before?
I've been too afraid to try. I've felt unworthy. What would you have me do to...
Kind of pauses, like sets down what he was holding in his hand, like, turns back to you. As well, I would have you join me in prayer, and I suppose at the after a time of meditation and reflection, I would have you attempt to bless the water of the pool here, and I will be here with you either way, but I don't know what we'll do.
Okay. I kneel down beside him in quiet reflection.
So for the first time, really, in a 10-day, you have it sets in on you the peace that you have here, and and the extreme lack of that you've had in your life over the last 10 days. And you hear crickets, you see a few fireflies, the gentlest of breeze ripples the pond just ever so little, and then it settles back down to kind of this glassy surface, and you look down and see your reflection, and after a minute or so of quiet, he begins to pray out loud next to you. And I guess, want to join him, or do you want to?
I'll join him.
Okay. So he goes through that process, and you join him. As he finishes, kind of reaches out and clasps your hand, and more like your wrist, I guess, kind of behind your hand, and then immerses your hand in the pool of water. And I think for the sake of this, plus I just kind of like this in general, I think it makes a lot of sense. I would base it on your smite evil. Mechanically, I think that's the way that makes sense to make holy water.
All right.
So you in not in your mind so much as in your soul, and in your gut, in your chest, you you reach out for that that power, that warmth that you've been without now for what feels like forever. And to your surprise, you feel a degree of it. You feel there is not a lack of presence like there has been recently. But as you kind of spiritually reach for that and try and channel it through your hand, find it still
taking a deep breath and a sigh of relief, just feeling reconnected and can I ask you, is there any scripture that I could read and take with me to perhaps learn healing? And just to have that to study.
Kind of pauses and raises his eyebrow at you, and he's like, I did not feel the power flow through.
It's a sign that I need to deepen my trust and knowledge and learn more and trust more and do more and believe more.
And there's a possibility here this may be mercy memory causing me a problem. Have you discussed with Ambrose before about the loss of your powers? I know you talked about it with Leona briefly, but I don't think you've talked about it with Ambrose unless I'm forgetting something.
No, but I figured it became common knowledge at this point.
Not necessarily, because it's not like you stopped practicing faith or like started like blaspheming or something, right? Like you still came and paid tithes, and you like still engaged with the hierarchy of the church and whatnot. So he looks surprised and kind of like leans back just a little bit. As well, the order and the church are intertwined but are not one. I can only assume that what you're telling me without telling me is that somehow you've been severed from power.
Yes.
Leona had not shared that with me.
I had committed an act that was against the code.
Well,
And I was hoping through commitment and perhaps study and faith.
he looks somber, but not necessarily judgmental. Well, I'm saddened to hear that, but I make no judgment upon your judgments and ultimately justice are, left to the purview of Chan. So that's certainly not my place. But I will admit I have no experience with breakers. Kind of like chokes down the word a little bit. Like he doesn't say it judgmentally, but he's just like, he's surprised. He's a little shaken. I do know that there are ways of seeking atonement, and I certainly, you will find me supportive of your quest to achieve redemption. I just don't know who myself. I certainly will connect you with some teachings on the furthering of your powers and in the assumption that and the hope that may lead you to reforging your bond. Obviously, like ultimately that falls to Ayam and the Al, and only through them, through Bana himself. I can petition on your behalf potentially, but that in and of itself, I may not be judged, but I also I think would do wrong to intervene on your behalf spiritually at this point without some more work part. Redemption is earned, not.
I will spend every day of my life working towards earning that. And I just stay kneeling, kind of holding my hand in the water, just reflecting on it. My own thought.
He
that moment.
stands behind you and puts his hands on your shoulder. Kind of like quietly, but after a time, he leaves you with your thought. He says, "I will leave you with your thoughts, and with the hope, find peace this night with what you've done, with what you hope to do, and I will find the resources you requested. Of course, that's readily at hand, and then I will start my research. Atonement and redemption, and this is certainly not a common process, but it is not unheard of. So I will dispatch a messenger. Sorry, I can't talk. I will dispatch a messenger to the capital to see what resources they can find for me there, and we'll do everything that we can to uplift you, West."
Kind of just quietly nod, still looking back at that moment where everything changed in one poor decision.
Yeah, he kind of gives you one, like I said, he had his hands on your shoulders from behind you, and he kind of gives you like just one single like kind of wheeze, and then like turns and shuffles off into the cathedral. And as you like look into the reflecting pool, you start kind of like flashing back through moments younger in your life, beginning your training and your like graduation and anointment, and that being tasked with your quest to form this party of miscreants, pulling people from jails and bars, and trying to cajole them towards doing things that will further the goals of the faith. And then you see that and all of this thus far is probably a bit bittersweet given the current situation, but overall is like fairly positive. And then kind of like almost like a jump scare, then all of a sudden, like to your perception, the water in the pool like turns red, and like you just see this like goblin's body laying for you. And then almost as soon as it like appears, then it disappears again.
Oh, wait. In between that, can I just do like the anime tear and be like, "I'm sorry," and then the one teardrop falls into the pond?
Yeah, of course. That's awesome. Why not say no to that? So yeah, actually, that's perfect. As the tear hits the pool, then it causes a small ripple, and like when that ripple subsides, the vision is gone. And then, almost as you go to stand up, and kind of like a feeling, maybe a little defeated at like having that kind of shoved in your face as you're sitting here like reminiscing about your faith and everything. Then also you see, like as the ripple fades and the water appears to go from red back to, in this case, kind of dark blue, just because it's dark outside. It then like transitions further over into a light blue, and you see from above, looking straight down, you see like a swirl of so it's like a light blue, and then you see a swirl of like white, and in the middle of that swirl is kind of like a flutter of wings and like falling feathers, and then as the vision kind of like clarifies, you see yourself like kneeling down next to Druzh's broken body and like praying and pledging, and then your current perspective comes like more or less kind of like hovering, and then almost as if it was like suspended by a rope, and then the rope was cut. Like as you finish saying your oaths, then it like your perspective just falls straight down like into you, and then like you feel that tingle of like warmth that you felt when you laid hands upon Druzh, and then the like pool settles back to
We'll call it there, and I'll leave the reflection, and we'll switch it to the other party.
We're all sleeping off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the other party partied and they're going to bed. So if there's nothing else that you want to do specifically at nighttime, then presumably you can. I mean, you can sleep at the church. There aren't necessarily like, there's not like a hotel or anything like that, but there's nothing against sleeping. There is.
Yeah, that's usually what I did.
Yeah.
But I think against what everyone else would probably do, I would take the stamina or the debuff and not sleep properly tonight, and just go fully into prayer and be fatigued the next day.
Okay. Then everybody who's not Alondite, who is still missing hit points there, if you rested normally, you regain 2 hit points. That being said, I do have one other thing potentially to do before we wake up.
Trying to click on my thing, but it won't let me move it.
Oh.
It's actually not letting me move. Oh, wait. There we go.
Are we regaining?
There we go. I'm back to full, baby.
Yeah, none of you were drunk enough to have remaining ability damage and still be like hungover the next day or anything like that. Yeah, because ability damage as a penalty for drinking is actually like insanely bad. Ability damage, you heal 1 ability damage per day as written, which is crazy. And that's not like 1 per, that's 1. So like if you're missing 6 dex and 6 wisdom, like it's going to take you 12 days to get back to full. Rules is written, which is, I mean, that's a heck of a hangover, but right. I feel like that's a little extreme for like one night of even pretty heavy drinking. So,
I feel like that would make more sense if it was like ability damage due to like an enemy's ability or something, not drinking.
Yeah, and there's just no differentiator. We need we need like an ability damage equivalent of non-lethal damage. So what we historically have done, I've never really truly codified it, but is more like you regain one every hour or two. Kind of depending a little bit on the circumstances and what you were doing, as well. So yeah, we need ability subdual damage. Yeah, exactly. Because non-lethal damage also heals faster. So, usually the way we've handled it is like, I think about every 2 hours is kind of usually what I've done. But even so, I don't think any of you drank more than 4 ability damage, which would be 8 hours. At most, obviously, I mean, you can describe it however you want. Of course, it's your character. So if you want to be like, I wake up still a little clumsy or whatever, like obviously have at. But as far as mechanically speaking, generally speaking, you can sleep off somewhere between 2 and, I guess depending on how you rolled, but you can sleep off like 2 to 4 failed drinks worth of ability damage in a night.
You're back 2 seconds, bio.
Yeah, actually, I could use one as well, and we did just
let's take a break.
Yeah, wrap a pretty cool scene there with Alondite. Rubato.
Yes.
As you sleep night, you wake up with a bit of a start, and at first you're just like, oh god, I was having a dream about peeing. Oh no. But then you kind of like fully become alert, and you realize that you heard a footstep in your room.
Okay. Am I facing the direction of said footstep? Can I kind of like crack an eye open and see if I can see anything?
You want to make a sleight of face check?
Yes.
Yeah, we can say that you're facing that way, sure.
Okay. Okay, so I'm doing a sleight of face check. Or a spot check.
More because you're trying to conceal it, right? You said you wanted to try and like kind of creak your eye open. So more like a dex check, yeah.
Okay.
Because sleight of hand is dexterity based. So okay.
That's 16 flat.
Because of course you have no bonus to.
At
No.
least it's not negative.
Yeah, at least it's not a negative. Just You heard what he said, Izzy.
I figured you went to bed after having a bunch of drinks, right? Like...
Those are the worst dreams. Do I see anything?
Well, so now make a spot check, right? You, I guess I could have just had you do both or do the other one first or whatever, but like collectively. So you are stealthily looking. Excellent.
That is a 0.
Of course it is. Of course it is. There is a small shadow person in your room.
I pull my crossbow.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. You're gonna kill their sister.
I mean, are you firing it? Well, I guess you probably don't have it loaded, so no, you're just grabbing your crossbow.
I'm grabbing my crossbow and jumping up and aiming at it, yeah. In fact, I'm going to try to fire it, but it's empty, so click.
Oh, this got amazing so fast.
Shadows.
Can't believe you rolled a 0. Amazing. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be
just
good, but
talking
like,
about shadow
come on.
Maybe
My eyes
you'll-
were still blurry. I just woke up.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to pee.
Make a will save.
Oh, good. That is a 14.
That's actually not terrible. Okay.
Yeah, it went okay. Went okay. Oh, no, excuse me. That's a 12. I read that wrong.
Oh, okay. Hold on, I have to read something.
I have a -2 to that, thanks to my great wisdom.
Did you jump out of your bed or did you jump up like on your bed?
Just jump up on my bed,
Okay.
like sit up, spin around with the crossbow. Oh boy.
You're dead.
Scott's gonna have a really exciting morning if I were to die in her house.
Yeah. Oh,
We all, I would be, I'm there too. Oh god.
Okay. Yeah, I just had to read a thing there.
Mm-hmm.
So you as soon as you like pull the trigger, right? There you click, because you don't even have, presumably, I mean, I'm assuming you're not sleeping with your crossbow string pulled back either.
Not in Scath-Bais.
There's just like a little mechanical click, right? So as soon as that click happens, and your eyes kind of like focus down the sights of the crossbow, you see like just the outline of like a small humanoid shape with like piercing like icy blue eyes looking at you, and then you hear a voice that you recognize.
Oh.
Say, now, Rubato. Not very nice. No way to greet present. And finally, because you couldn't not,
Yeah.
you see Mina steps closer to you.
Oh, Jesus.
Like she steps into vision. You cannot talk.
Oh.
You go to talk, but you feel like almost your brain kind of like jumps ahead of your body, and you like think that you're talking, but then you realize like, wait, I haven't said anything. My mouth didn't. And he says, "Put that away." And before you even can like think about it, you've like bopped and hopped down off the bed and like put it under your bed.
That's a fun trick.
You think to yourself.
Yeah.
You also, I mean, it's dark in your room, presumably. So she like steps up close to you, and you realize also that she is completely nude. And then she like kind of sticks a finger up in front of your face and like waggles her finger. Like, round. Way to treat it. And again, like before you can do anything about it. I mean, you can resist if you want to try, but or you can try to resist if you want, I should say. But you like feel yourself turning around and like looking into the corner of your room.
I will try to resist. Not because I don't want to look away. I'll still turn away, but then I'll try to. If I can. Is that another will save?
Yeah.
Nope. 10.
So you just stand there looking into the corner of your room for maybe a minute or so. And then you feel your like your body kind of like relaxes, kind of like catch your breath and act normally.
Are you still here? I don't turn around yet.
Turning around. Okay.
Yeah.
You turn around and she's gone.
Didn't we just have a conversation about this?
There's just like a little, there's like a pouch on the dresser beside your bed.
Well, I do like gifts. I'll go open the pouch.
It's full of like in sundry spell components. There's like a dried lizard's eye and like some feathers and like a dead cricket and like a bunch of stuff that you'd use for spell casting. Like a palm full of dirt.
Ooh, very nice. Okay, I'll just sit there and sit on the bed and browse through it a little bit. Stop and think to myself again, though. I thought we did talk about this, not to be... I don't know if she listens very good. Well, I'll tuck that away with the rest of my spell components. I don't think I'm getting back to sleep, though. But what time of night is it?
I mean, obviously you don't really have like much, but you have a sense you were asleep for a while, but it's still pre-dawn. Like it's like black of night.
I see any footprints on the ground?
What's the floor in your house made of, sweetie?
Well, it's essentially like a wooden floor with dirt. Dirt on the floor. Good.
Okay. Well, I mean, because you might also have a dirt floor. Right? Like,
no, it's not a dirt floor.
Okay.
Any fresh, sweaty, bare naked footprints?
Are you just looking or are you searching?
I'm going to search to see if it's even worthwhile leaving to try to see if I can follow the footprints or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, make a search check.
That's a 20. Dirty 20.
Okay. You Scabash's family, accommodating enough, but perhaps not exactly ready to open their own B-suite inn. So that there is a bit of dust, perhaps a bit of dirt. It not to the point where it's like gross, but enough to where you can see a little bit. Like, I can see where I, like rug a chair across the floor a little bit. Like I can. It's like maybe a teeny bit of a scrape in the wood, but also like a bit of a bit of disturbed dirt here and there and whatnot. But as far as you can make out, there's only like 4 or 5 footprints. So there are 2 like in front of the dresser, facing the dresser. And then there is like, a right foot towards the bed, and then a left foot towards the bed, and then, like, because she like jumped up on the bed to get. Not that she was on the bed while you were asleep. Like, I'm not being creepy or weird.
I was like, is she still in the bed?
Yeah, no. Like, because you said that you were on the bed when you pulled the crossbow on her. So she like jumped up in the bed and like waggled her finger in your face and then made you turn around. And like, those are the only footprints you see.
Okay. Yeah, that was my first thought as well. She's still in the bed. She's gonna grudge me crawling up under the bed. Okay, well, if those are the only footprints I see, then I don't think she's exactly sneaking in the front door. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to cast a message to Mina. I'll cup my hands over my mouth and see if my message lands. I'll be like, didn't we just have a chat about this? I feel like we just talked about this. The range on it, in case you're curious.
Yeah, I was looking at this 10 feet or 100 feet plus 10 feet per level.
Yes.
It would still be subject to line of effect, though. Oh no, it's not fully subject to line of effect. It can penetrate up to 3 feet of wood. Okay, I guess up to 2.99 feet of wood. How quickly would you say you're doing that?
Well, about as long as it took me to look around for footprints to see if it looked like she came in the front door or something. However long it took me to search, I suppose. And the minute or so for the ability to wear off. But she cast.
Oh, actually, no, that's not that bad. It's a full round action per 5 foot square. So it took you, probably a few seconds to. You said you waited for a few seconds and then you turned around and like asked if she was there,
I waited to see if she was still standing behind me naked. Yeah.
And then, then you searched around. I mean, it's not a very big room, so probably like 2 to 4 rounds of searching. So probably like, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
back. There it is. Oh, okay. I'm glad I looked that up. So, all right. So what was it that you said? You just said like, I thought we talked about this.
Pretty much.
You can whisper messages and receive whispered replies with little chance of being overheard. You point your finger at each creature that you want.
I'd have to guess direction.
Yeah, I'm down with a little bit of a hand wave there.
Mm.
Can circumvent barriers if there's an open path. Okay. There is not a reply. Sorry, I know that was a long time to get there, but but I had to combine a couple of things.
There was some math.
Yeah. The spell did not fail. Whatever that's.
Okay.
So like you I guess I'm assuming at least to some degree, right? Like if you try to connect to some like and there's just no connection, I think you would
Okay. And then if I didn't get a reply but it felt like the connection still hit, then I'll say you're lucky I didn't actually have my crossbow loaded this time, though. This is not the first time things have surprised me in the dark.
Of course, you rolled a 0 on that spot.
Yeah.
And it lasts for 10 minutes per level, huh?
Yep.
I have to read one other thing. Oh, okay. So after another brief pause, because again, remember, there's no emotion, right? The spell specifically says the spell transmits sound, not meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no tone of voice, there's no inflection, whatever. You just hear like robot word.
Pretty much, yeah.
To you. You said essentially you're lucky that's not the first time I've been awoken by
shadowy things in the dark.
Yeah. So as deadpan as I can, you just hear back. Count yourself lucky.
Fair enough.
And like as soon as you hear that, you don't really know why, but you like spin around in a circle and like jump up and down twice and then lay down on your bed.
Well, I was going to go back to sleep anyways, I suppose. I'll sever the connection myself to the spell.
Well, you try and go back to bed. You said you probably wouldn't sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean I wouldn't tell her? We're the bestest of friends now.
I mean, there were definitely some repercussions for opening your mouth yesterday.
Yeah, I might have to start staying at the inn.
All right. Otherwise, the remaining, 4 or so hours, 4 or 5 hours of the night pass uneventfully for the rest of you. Rubato intermittently, going between like shaking in his boots about the initial jump scare of the shadow person, and then like moments of relief where, oh, but it wasn't a shadow person, but then also like, oh, but that whole thing, oh.
I'm not sure if that's much better.
That is weird.
All right. So it's now the morning of the 9th day of late spring. It looks to be a bit overcast today, but it's calm. It doesn't, no impending storms or anything as far as you can see.
Good. But here we'll kind of wake up before anyone else in the house wakes up, and like, I guess Rubato's awake still, but
yeah, but
we'll like sneak out and go out and do his like exercises super early.
Okay.
And then he would like probably end up like towards the beach, maybe like farther away from the docks.
Over in Drew
like by the sand. Yeah, probably a little bit farther away from Drew Harbor and like the sand.
Okay.
Just spend some time in the sand and like think about home after being interrogated about it a little bit yesterday.
Well, despite being at home and not being under threat, depending on how you want to interpret the other situation there, somehow still like several of you had very very topsy-turvy nights, and Bahir and Scath-Bais slept fine, and Druge has got his feet hanging out the bottom of his little race car bed, but but Alondite and Rubato both find themselves welcoming probably a hot meal and not doing a whole lot. I don't remember what names I just said. Sorry, I just ADD'd really hard. I meant Alondite and Rubato. If that's not what I said, that's definitely
That's what you said, sweet.
Okay. Like words came out of my mouth, and then I immediately realized I was like, I have no idea who I just said.
Not me being like, oh, did he say those people or did he not? I don't know. Like they're just getting up and then I walk back in all sweaty and already started with my day, and Rubato's like dragging his feet. Like, oh, Rubato, you ready? You want to come out with me today?
Rubato, you look terrible. What is
I'm only halfway done with my workouts. Let's go, Rubato.
I didn't sleep too good last night.
Really?
I had to pee.
Oh, man. That's why you get up and you go pee, Rubato, and then you can go back to bed.
I don't know. I just couldn't sleep very good. You're what, doing some training, some exercises out there?
Yeah, doing some running.
Some running?
Running around the town.
I'm not good at running.
Well, that's why you practice. You get better, Rubato.
Rubato?
Hmm?
You look like the time we found you with all the shadow people. Or after the shadow people.
Yeah, I had some bad dreams.
About what?
Shadow people. I feel like I should roll a bluff check on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say you make a bluff check, but with I think with a +2, because you're not directly lying, but you're definitely trying to mislead her.
Yeah. That's a 10.
Ooh.
Oh,
Really? Shadow people in your dreams.
Yeah, in my room.
Really?
Yeah.
Rubato.
Yeah.
No, the guild doesn't really like people that lie to them.
Yeah.
Bad things tend to happen. Dagger-related things.
Yeah.
That seems a little extreme.
Oh, you know.
I feel like, let the man have his scary dreams.
If they're lying about those dreams, that was one.
Well, it wasn't entirely a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Are you having this conversation in the common area?
Yeah, where are we chatting?
I mean, wherever by here.
I know, I just walked into the house, so it's probably in the front of the house. Yeah.
Your sister comes like walking up to you and like puts her hands on her hips and like sticks out her lower lip as far as she can, like in a very like over dramatic pout, and is like, "Oh, I liked Rubato. Are we stabbing him now?"
No.
We're not stabbing anybody.
Alexa, timer off.
Please no.
Rubato.
Yeah.
Right. What happened last night that you sleep so well? Try this again.
I had a dark, shadowy visitor.
Your parents are notably out of the house, right?
Dark, shadowy visitor.
Yeah, she was naked.
Named Aamina.
Wait, she was what?
I don't care about that part. Mina. Was it Mina again?
Yeah. It was.
Can we maybe try and find a way to have her not appear in my house randomly?
Yeah, I have an idea on that. I don't think I should stay at your house anymore.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It's okay. You could always stay with me at the inn.
Maybe one day, but I do have a bed here.
I'll take that, maybe.
Well, that's too bad. Well, sister, I guess we have a spare room again.
Is this lady gonna be giving you harm or like? Why is she naked in there? That's what I'm confused about.
I gotta go deal with the food real quick.
I don't know. Dude, that was the most confusing part about it. Like, I'm honestly not really that surprised that she didn't really pay us no heed and showed up again anyways. But the naked part.
Do you want me to try the bunk with you, maybe?
Do you have knowledge history, Rubato?
I
feel like
I believe I do. Yes.
Make a knowledge history check.
Okay. I don't have any points in it, but I am trained in it.
Well, no. So
work?
having it be a class skill is different than having ranks.
Okay.
So you don't have ranks in it?
No.
What about knowledge arcana?
Yes.
Okay. Do that then.
Okay.
The DC will be a little.
That is
A little higher, you say?
That's 12.
Okay. It takes you a second, between like, and obviously you can say this or not, but between like the slightest of hangovers, but then also the like exhaustion hangover, mixed with like getting grilled and possibly threatened a little bit.
How is she getting into
now.
my house?
You eventually kind of like piece together. You're like, well, I mean, like we are approaching the full moon, and like I've heard of ritual magic that like witches forest Sometimes they be like that.
That's very true.
How about Rubato when we go and get in that we get one with 2 beds and I will so I can be around in case,
That's fine.
something happens.
I do want to know how did she get into my house this time?
Oh, she definitely didn't walk in. It was some sort of magical means would be my guess, and I'd be willing to bet that has something to do with why she was naked too. It's not exactly my expertise in magic, but I do know there are some ritual spells that some types of spellcasters would, I don't know, maybe it would improve my spells if I were to do them naked.
I don't want to know. What did she want?
Oh, she brought me gifts.
Oh, what did you get?
If she wants to bring, why didn't she just use the dang cash like I told her to? I do not understand. Nobody
know.
can follow directions around here.
Well, that part's very true. A lot of people around here don't seem to follow directions very well. Myself included, to be fair, but
To be fair, you guys try to give directions to a lot of people that you have no real place giving directions to.
Common courtesy, you don't just
Don't bring up
appear in
logic.
somebody's house. The person gives you a means to deliver things. Then
I say it to her. or him, I guess, but not to me.
Rubato, I really hope she figures out a better way to communicate with people.
yeah, that's why I was thinking we'd change things up, and if the means is to just keep bringing things directly to me, then I'll not be at your house there, so we don't compromise anything.
Why is it always in the middle of the night? Why can't she just be a normal person and find you and be like, "Oh, here's this for you"?
Bahir, you should go with him to her shop, and you'll know this is not a normal person.
Yeah, it's probably related to her ritual magic, if I had to bet. Just judging by the type of caster that I think she is, I think night is when she's probably most powerful, if I had to bet.
I mean, she wouldn't even have to use magic if she would just find you the normal way, like everyone else does around here.
Yeah, but that's not as fun and flashy, right?
I mean, I suppose showing up in the middle of the night naked to someone's house is pretty flashy, I guess.
But
To be fair, she was thinking that he would be asleep. So that was not for his benefit. Much as Rubato might want it to have been.
did get quite an eyeful.
This might not bode well for the joint partnership of sending her people to purchase things. Brian's not going to like this.
Yeah. Well, they might still be able to work something out, but definitely want to possibly proceed with caution. That's my plan from this point forward as well.
Yeah, we can share a room just in case,
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fine.
You guys do that. Because if I see her, I'm putting a dagger through her throat right now.
Oh, dang. And I like the idea of sharing a room with you.
Her throat.
Rue, I did not stutter.
No, I
suppose I would feel the same way if someone kept appearing into my house
Exactly. We don't take very kindly to it.
uninvited. Leaving things there or not. Like reverse stealing.
Reverse stealing.
Reverse burglary.
Well, you go and you run your laps. I'm gonna
Okay,
place to.
I'll go see if Alondite wants to run laps with me then.
I'm gonna go and deal with my my book here.
I'll meander with you to find Alondite. I want to see if he's okay before you guys go for your run.
Sure.
Usually he hangs out for a drinking contest.
You know where he's at?
Probably the church.
Probably. Okay.
Rubato, try
Alondite.
not to do anything while we're gone.
is accurate location.
I'll stay out of trouble. I'm just sitting here for a minute.
Oh, weren't we also gonna go to Angela's today?
We should go. Yeah.
Did we do that before we go get Alondite? Because I don't know if he was.
Well, if you want to go run your laps earlier in the day, you might want to go check with him first, and then we can go to Angela's shop.
Okay, sounds good.
And then I will try not to go to that person's house and burn it down.
All right.
Fortune's End is like 3 doors away from it.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm saying I'm going to have to use some severe restraint and not burning down her establishment with her in it for entering my house again without permission, uninvited.
Burn the witch.
That's a Queens of the Stone Age song. All right, we go. We're gonna go to the church and find Alondite.
Okay. I mean, unless for some reason he's evading you or would have otherwise done something first thing in the morning, you succeed at that.
Cool.
Yeah, he's still kneeling at that pool.
I tap him on the shoulder. Have you been here, Alondite? Alondite.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Kind of just like finishes up his motions and like snaps out of it. Reflecting, and he kind of like has that Vietnam stare.
I'm upstairs.
I see what you did there, Alondite. Reflecting, you're looking over some water. What a jokester.
So, Bahir wants to go for a run with you, and I'm checking on you because you don't seem.
It's like with that last overlook, like not making any eye contact. Then he's like, "Yeah, I could go for a run."
I mean, generally speaking, though, unless I'm misinterpreting it, wouldn't Alondite be interpreting most of what happened as on the more positive side of things?
A positive, but like inner reflection. Like he's like lost in his thoughts and like what to do next and where to.
Yeah,
where to go from here.
That wasn't like shell shock.
Well, you look like you need a nap, and the day just started, my friend.
I'm tired, but just what is tired? We're always tired. Just move on. We'll get by it.
I mean, I'm not always tired. Are you always tired, Scath-Bais?
No, most of the time I'm always irritated with the stupidity.
Well, see, you know, maybe you just need another. Maybe you see a nice nap, a nice little refresher.
I'm okay. And I'm like, I start like clunkily undoing my armor to get ready for this run that is definitely not the best thing to do, but we're gonna do anyway.
Well,
you're planning to do it out of your armor, Alondite.
I'm not going for a run. I've got business to deal with. I have to go tell my guild leader some more shenanigans ensued last night. He's not going to be happy about this.
Oh.
What happened? What?
Oh, Rubato has made a friend of the magical variety that feels that they are allowed to just appear themselves into people's homes uninvited in the middle of the night.
Naked, too.
They've done it twice now.
I wonder if she was naked the first time.
Naked magic?
I don't know.
I guess so.
I don't know.
Is this required for the spells? This seems
Rubato said sometimes doing it naked might make people more powerful, I guess. I don't know.
This might require an investigation.
Oh, yes. Yeah, probably. Well, if you want to send anyone her way, she owns
what needs investigated?
She owns the Fortune's End over in the magic-y area of town. Some alleyway.
This sounds like the utmost important after a run. I need this to waken up my system.
What are we planning on doing, Alondite? 1 second.
You guys are going for a run. I'm going to talk to my guild leader.
And we may be sending a detachment to this place, which clearly seems to be into... There could be no good that comes from naked magic.
I would be careful, though, because she does some crazy stuff. So I would just be tell them to be very cautious when going in there.
Absolutely.
I do agree that doing magic naked is weird, but like I don't know if it's like I feel like you're making a bigger deal than it is.
Oh, my issue is that she came in my house uninvited, and I've warned her once not to do it, and she did it again. So now
no.
Now I'm vengeful.
I understand why you are angry. I mean, Alan, I don't understand why. I don't think it's that big of a deal where you have to send
it is a concern.
Attachment, as you say.
A concern for not only the break and enter, but the sanity of this person and where this may lead. Questions must be answered. Why the nakedness?
I think before we go...
I like that that's what Alondite is focused on.
All of you are. I should have known better.
I think before we go and tell everybody that this woman has gone naked into Scath-Bais' house, we check with Rubato first to make sure, like, it's not going to mess with anything that he's doing.
Do you think Rubato is associated with him?
I mean, we know that he is, right? I mean...
She's just bamfing into
this morning. He didn't even want to tell us that she had done that. Like, I feel like it's not our place to go around telling everybody.
Does
you know what I mean?
Naked magic.
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Maybe.
As far as I know, he doesn't. Yes, at this point, Scath-Bais is just irritated and vengeful and doesn't care. Like, woman came into her house twice. Second time after being told not to.
Anyways, I'm getting distracted with this.
I also don't think we want to make someone who...
Hang on. You
can
take your armor off?
I do.
All right. Start helping him doff his armor.
I also don't think we should make someone angry who can appear in the middle of the night while we are sleeping next to us.
That was kind of my thought, but...
Well, I'm angry. I don't care.
I mean, like, if you were to tell your guild leader, that's one thing, because I assume that they can, handle that information more discreetly without...
Well, here's the problem, Bahir. My guild doesn't have the ability to utilize magic.
Mm-hmm.
Neither does the church.
But they have paladins who have some form of something they can potentially do to deal with it.
Divine power is not magic.
It's divine power. Who cares? Divine power. They could fight the magic with divine power.
But I mean, at the same time, this is a good way to get magic in your guild.
But you're not even here.
Nope, I'm not.
Magic could have come to the church. How is that working, Rubato?
They kept stealing it from me. But it worked fine.
I would just, Alondite, if they do send people, just tell them to be careful because she's crazy. Exercise extreme caution when entering. Knock first. Definitely knock.
Oh, there will be heavy knocking. And inquisitorious.
Okay. When I said burn the witch earlier, you two know that I was joking, right?
I was not.
That was a joke?
I was not joking. I want to burn her house down.
Naked magic can never lead to good things.
Okay.
Rouge is going to start casting his healing spells in the nude now.
All right, your armor's gone. I have to go. I have to go deal with this with my guild now.
All right, so Scath-Bais helps Alondite doff his armor. And then you're taking off what alone? Alondite and Bahir are going for
a run,
a beach montage run.
Yes,
run montage.
The beach montage. Yes.
And Rubato.
Lifeguard running.
And Rubato is working on describing his spell. All right. Well, unless you specifically want to describe the details of your beach run, I think we can say that happens.
Lots of heavy breathing.
And you also took your armor off. Talk about naked magic.
I mean, I'm assuming he has like a gambeson and arming wear on.
Nope, just two greased up men running down the beach, all Baywatch style.
Thinking about naked bitches.
All right.
But here keeps his armor on while he's doing his exercises. But
oh dear.
Scath-Bais, you're going to the guild.
I am at my guild leader now.
Okay.
I made as much haste as possible.
There are more people around than normal. There's usually like a few people kind of lounging and just generally being ne'er-do-wells, but there's more people around for sure. They kind of pause a little bit longer at your code knock, and then they let you in, and then like I said, you get in, and if there's normally like 2 or 3 people kind of in the common area, there's like and they're usually kind of like playing cards or like throwing knives or just kind of like passing time. There's like more like a half a dozen to a dozen. Everybody's kind of like bustling around.
I go to his office like I always do. Knock.
The door opens like immediately, and like Brienne, you see him like look relieved to see you. Like, oh good, I'm glad Alondite told you to come see me first thing.
You must have forgotten. I had to come talk to you about something else.
Like, okay, me first. Wait, I was pretty clear. Whatever.
Don't worry about it.
So we have a situation.
Is it to deal with the witch who
And he
made her way into my
closes-
house again?
What? No.
Oh, okay. You first then.
He like he's standing at the door, like ushers you in and closes the door behind you, and there is a person laying on the ground in his office.
Do I recognize this person?
Do not.
What happened?
He walks around his desk and gives a little kick to the hip of the person laying on the ground on the way by, and then goes and like sits down behind his desk and kind of sits down, forearms on his knees, kind of like hangs his head for a second, and then he reaches down and like holds up the orb, like, I think he wanted that.
The only other person besides me, the person you gave that to, was Rubato. And Rubato doesn't know, well, actually, he does know that I gave it back to you, doesn't he? Out of character, Rubato, were you here for that? I don't remember.
I don't believe I was.
Okay, then yeah. Nobody else knows that I gave it back to you, so I don't know how he would have known.
Like, well, might have something to do with this. And he, like when you flip a coin off your thumb, like flips a coin too.
All right. Catch it.
You look down and you see it's not like a gold crown or anything like that, like standard money. Silvery, may or may not be silver. And although at first glance it looks like a coin, you realize it's more like a token. And you recognize the symbol on it to be the symbol that was drawn out for you that you took to your parents after you.
I recognize this symbol.
Like, yeah, me
But
too.
How do they know that you have it?
Who knows? That's kind of their thing. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I was, I don't know. I was just happy to be celebrating for a day or two after everything that's taken place. Everything that's taken place recently. Probably not going to help that I killed him. Not usually good for diplomatic relations, but he did start it.
Well, he did sneak in here. I kind of just may or may not have sent the church after the lady at the Fortune's End for entering my house again unannounced.
Oh,
So,
that's not great timing if we're about to go to war with the
I know.
magic-seeking rogue guild.
Yeah. Well, she I don't know. I kind of want to burn her house down right now for doing it twice.
I get it. I mean, especially in light of recent events, like, points at, at the body on the floor. I feel like that might be biting off our nose to spite our face, though. Can we not do that?
Well, I highly doubt that the church will actually be able to do anything against her when they go knocking, so...
Well, I mean, they may or may not win if it gets, if it comes to that, but it's probably not great for business relations either way.
You want me to try and find a way to warn her, I assume?
Well, I mean, that might buy us a little goodwill. I was thinking more like just not have the church do that.
I don't think Alondite will be deterred, so unless you can convince him to not tell his higher-ups.
Because that always goes well.
It does not. He's not very persuasive. And he can't lie to save his life.
He's kind of like facing to the side, like kind of like bouncing his knee.
I could find a way to spin it that I didn't send them after her. If I need to.
I feel like that's the last resort. Earning goodwill is probably a step or two above that.
Technically, she wouldn't know that I sent them after her.
Well, I mean, I don't think it takes a genius to draw a line between those 2 points. I have an idea though. I'll be back. And he just like leaves.
Should I wait here?
Up to you. Calls over his shoulder and goes like jogging out of the room. You're just standing in his office with a dead body right now.
I'm just gonna. I leave.
Roll it.
He knows where I live. I'm just gonna. I don't know. I'll go find Bahir and Alondite.
Think of Bahir. Loot the body.
Actually, I do look at the body. Do I recognize like anything about this person?
I other than some clothes that are clearly designed, or outerwear, I suppose, that's clearly designed to be a little drab, it's so boring that it looks like it's on purpose. But otherwise it looks like a good dude, really. At least at first glance, you don't see any like special tattoos. His eyes aren't glowing.
I leave it. If I loot the body and my boss comes back to loot the body and he finds out that I looted the body, I'll be in trouble. It's a code. You don't loot things from the guild.
It's a joke.
All right, I go look for the guys.
Okay.
We can find other bodies to loot. I figured that one was probably looted already anyways.
Yeah, it probably was. Probably the first thing they did.
Where do you think he got that token after all?
Did you guys tell Scath-Bais where you were going, or just that you were going to work out?
I probably would have said like going to the beach or something. We're going for a 10K.
Okay. I mean, we can move the cameras over there then.
Oops, I'm in the water.
I know you said probably a little further away than that, but that's fine. We can it makes sense, I think, for her to catch you as you're coming back into town.
Alondite.
Well, so actually, as are you at what speed are you going there, Scath-Bais?
I don't know, I'd probably run.
Okay.
Okay, well, I can't run very well anyway because I'm technically fatigued.
Oh, that's true.
Gosh, Alondite, you're really not putting your all into this today. I don't know. I'm waking up. I'm not feeling it. I mean, that's why I took my armor off. Otherwise, this would be all right. I'm just.
Gosh, this is about as bad as Druge right now, honestly.
I'm
So
not
you guys
that clumpy.
Come running up. You've completed kind of your circuit around probably not the whole. I mean, the lake is quite large. But, you went out part way and then turned back around. And but here is, I mean, like it's in the sand and you're running. So like even if you're in good shape, like
I'm gonna go cut her.
Okay. You're definitely in. You're not in like first thing in the morning energy. Like you're sweating a little bit, but like you've handled it well. You just need a glass of water and to sit down for a couple minutes and you'll be good. Alondite comes like huffing and puffing up along behind you.
Is that Scath-Bais in the background there? You meeting us? I can't tell. I've got sweat in my eyes.
So she got up to cut our pizza, which I was going to resolve this scene and then just take that more like 5 to 10 minute break. But I guess we can just eat before we do that.
Nom nom. I could do it 10 minutes. So
despite Scath-Bais knowing where to go, Brienne somehow beats her there. So you guys come running up, more or less when she comes running up, and he's like sitting in the flower box that's in front of this building that's here, kind of like swinging his feet, waiting for you guys.
Doesn't get hot in that whole outfit shebang.
Me? This? For him? There.
What him? That guy.
Why would it be hot?
He's got like a leather duster on and
Dusters are actually fairly good for keeping you cool.
Pretty heavy pants and the hood.
I'm sure that those reasons got to do something.
I disagree. They usually keep you mighty toasty.
What I was saying, sweetie, is you arrive and somehow, despite you knowing where they were, Bran beat you there.
Huh. Okay.
I described him as sitting in the flower box in front of this. I think it's a little tavern, if I remember correctly.
Do I see him?
Oh, yeah.
Brienne?
Yeah, he's just sitting there, kicking his feet.
What are you doing here?
And I'm running up going,
apparently same thing you are, but me first. So he sees you guys come up and approach the kind of exit to the beach here and hops down out of the planter, and he's like, Alondite, good to see you again.
Please don't kill my friend.
Oh no,
it's like
all good things. All good things. I was supposed to send you a message earlier this morning, but it seems to have eluded me.
Yes. Normally I would be more angry about that than I might be at the moment. I'm a little busy though. How about, and he kind of comes over next to you and kind of rests his arm on your shoulder, which you probably don't super appreciate since you're pretty winded right now. But kind of throws his arm over your shoulder and kind of walks along with you. He's like, how about we organize some training for Aamina today? I know you've been working really hard with her, and you've made some good progress. But I know some people, and I might be able to help you make a little bit more progress. You'd still probably want to be there, to oversee things and whatever. But maybe we could kind of help work, move things along there.
Super excited about that. I'm pause for a second, thinking, isn't there something else that I was supposed to be doing? But being super winded from the jog, and it was yeah, that sounds nice.
Oh, thank God.
Excellent. I'll go with you, just to make sure you make it there and everything's okay.
But here, he didn't talk to anybody before you guys left for your run, right?
Who?
Alondite. He didn't talk to
No,
you guys.
we just headed out over here.
No talk to anybody, right? Nobody.
No.
Okay. We might be in the clear on that thing we talked about earlier.
Oh, okay.
So just don't mention it again.
So he's just being like super palsy with you. He's like, hey, but then it gets a little awkward. And he's like, how was the church last night? How did you have good prayers? Is that how that works? I don't know. Yeah. How you doing? How you doing? How's your day?
Yeah, I had some. It was a late night. I had a lot of reflection.
Like, oh yeah, it was a long night for a lot of people, I think.
Brian.
He kind of like winces. He's like, yeah, so it sounds like the perfect day to get you some help, right? And kind of like the arm that he has over your shoulders. You guys are kind of like walking past Scath-Bais. He's kind of like gives you an emphatic like. You're like waving Scath-Bais off to like go back to the guild house and find this person.
But I swear there was something else I was supposed to help with that.
I know. There's so much to do after the battle.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there's some rousing speech.
We're gonna head back to my guild
whatever.
real quick.
But what's a knight without his horse, right?
Okay.
And then we're gonna go talk to Angela.
Okay, sounds good. I've never actually been there before, so
you might have to hang out in like the great room area with like the my cohorts. I gotta go take care of something in my.
Maybe I should just wait outside, but I don't know.
They won't do anything to you, trust me. As long as you don't have your money on you, you're fine.
Well.
Okay, wait outside. Just keep it.
I always have my money on me, so.
And make sure you have that somewhere where it won't get cut off your belt, because they're very good.
I'll like stuff it like weirdly in my armor, so it's kind of uncomfortable, but it's not easy to get to.
Yeah, do that.
As you guys are like walking past the marketplace, he's just laying it on super thick, right? And like you don't even like, you kind of notice but don't even really realize he just like grabs some carrots out of one of the merchant stalls on the way by, and you guys just keep walking. Like if you do notice, the person running the stall is kind of like, hey! Suddenly finds some really interesting lore that's beneath their table.
I'm assuming that Brian just wants me to go back and dispose of the thing. His office.
Well, probably that too, but no, he wanted you to go back and find somebody that knows something about horses.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, let's go.
I mean, not having a dead body in his office is probably not the worst. Yeah. Also, but
we're
that's just an average Tuesday.
All right, so I walk in and I'm like, okay, which one of you mooks knows anything about horses?
A couple of them kind of look at each other and shrug and go back to what they're doing, but one guy steps up and like, I do. I grew up on a farm. It's been a little bit. We don't, use them too much around town here, but
we need help training this horse of my friends. Brian has pretty much mandated that we're helping him with this. So
like, that'll be way more fun than waiting around to, for something else to do here. Sure. Oh, wow. I haven't broken a horse in a long time.
Well, pretend like you can.
Well, no, I mean, it'll be fine. I grew up doing it, but I just haven't done it in a while. Cool. Where am I going?
The military stables.
Oh.
Don't worry. Brienne will be there. Alondite's there. We're in good. We're fine.
Fine.
It is the guild leader's order. Direct order.
He's he's not like gonna argue about it with you anymore, but as he like walks past you out the door, he's kind of like grumbling under his breath, and he's like, we could have ordered it somewhere else.
All right. I guess we'll just go. I'll run into the office real quick and just see if I can find a way to hide the corpse in the event that someone goes in there. That's going in there.
Okay. So apparently you're disposing of a dead body now. How's that happening?
There's tunnels. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna leave it there for now. I can't do that by myself. That's too much of a work.
Well, here's with you.
Yeah, but also we would do that under the cover of darkness, not in broad daylight.
Okay. Initially you said that's what you were going to go do. So.
And then I changed my mind.
Okay.
Everybody's gonna be very confused with a random dead body.
It would be hilarious though, especially since all this has been fairly fast paced, but not from Bahir's perspective at all, right? Like you just woke up and went for a nice morning jog by the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not everybody, but a lot of other people have been running around like madmen doing various things.
All right, I walk out of the door and I grab him by the arm and say, "Okay, come on, we gotta go talk to Angela."
Do we want to go get Rubato too?
He's busy doing. I don't know where he's at. I think he's doing his spell stuff. We're gonna leave him be for now. He had a really long night. I'll send her his regards.
Sounds good.
All right.
Oh, Angela.
I have the coin still.
I don't know if I really even have Angela spending money at the moment. I mean,
that's true. Although you haven't actually left yet. Do you want to put that back in the office, or are you keeping it?
No, I'm going to take it with me. Okay. I'm not getting rid of it, but she might be able to help us.
Okay.
What a statement.
With absolutely no context. Fantastic. Mendez just goes, you cast all your healing spells in the nude, right? No preamble, no nothing. Dr. Huge Time just does a drive-by, very generously shares his resub with us, and then
you'll have to watch the VOD.
Mendez says, hey Doc, you cast all your healing spells in the nude, right?
Jeez.
That emote.
I suppose does Rubato want to do anything on his end yet, or Alondite?
Right, sorry, yeah.
You guys want to do anything while me and Bahir go into the shop?
How long has this been so far?
Oh, not very long, like a half an hour, maybe an hour at most.
Okay, because it takes like an hour for me to get my spells in order.
Yeah, I mean, we could hand wave that and say that you're, finishing that up. You're ready.
Well, they had made a good point that Angela had sent me back to my home and said I should ask her about it. So that would be what I would be handling or heading toward want to do next. Plus, they said they wanted to go. So when I was done with my spell stuff, I was going to swing by Angela's.
Okay, well, easy enough.
So we're all going to run into each other
be like
at the same
awkward
time.
Yeah, we're going to like show up and be like, oh, hey, Rubato, we were just going to get you, you know?
Totally not going to your favorite person's shop without telling you. We would never do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't lie about it. It's like you were like, I wanted you to rest, so.
That's fair.
Gosh.
I'm here.
We can say that Rubato shows up like just shortly after this.
Hello.
It might be a little, yeah, there you go. Easier to zoom out a tad and get a bit of an angle. Yeah.
I like it all up close and personal.
So, as you, no matter how many times you go in here, every time that you like step through the threshold, you can't help but just briefly kind of like close your eyes and like force down a little wave of nausea as you like step through the portal or through the door. I mean, door is but whatever. And then you find yourself in Angela's shop. It looks essentially like it did the last time that you were here, which was really only a couple days ago. Well, I don't know. I guess it was better part of a 10-day ago now, right?
Yeah, because it was right before the
2nd or 3rd or something, and now it's the 9th. So.
Hello, Angela.
She's just kind of bustling around, like cleaning something up or whatever. Whoa, what did I just do? And then here's you guys walk in, and she gives a little like twirl, like, oh, some of my favorite new customers. Hello. Glad to see you're still alive. You told me things weren't going well last time we spoke.
Well, we took care of them orcs.
Potions were really
and
helpful.
It was a lot of orcs. Oh.
She kind of like throws her hands up in the air. She's like, bravo! And then behind you hear like clack, 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 clack.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the skeletons flanking the door are clapping.
We are, now we're conveniently a bit more free to go about other business, and we were just a little more curious about the errand you were going to have us run.
Specifically, we thought that
like, oh, you haven't done that yet.
Well, we were told that location didn't exist anymore.
Oh, that's a pity.
Also, it has not been that long.
Is there a way for you to check if a place has been destroyed?
When you say it hasn't been that long, she just like shrugs. What did you ask, Vidi?
Is there a way for you to tell if a location has been destroyed?
That's perfect timing. I don't usually quantum ogre too much, but this is relatively inconsequential. So, right as Rubato steps through the door, you hear Scath-Bais say, "Is there any way to tell if it has been destroyed?" First thing you hear, right as you kind of catch yourself after your own little roll of nausea.
Well,
also,
that's cool. Hey, Rubato.
What'd you say?
I thought you were resting.
Oh, I was just finishing up my book.
Okay. Well, we would have come and got you, but I thought maybe you needed some sleep after, that witch came into our house again unannounced. I really want to burn down her house.
Yeah.
She's, when you say that, Angela crosses her arms and kind of pouts, and she's like, I did not.
Not you. The witch 3 doors down from you at the fortune teller place. I like you.
She get like it sounds pretty clearly playful, but she gives a little harump and she's like, just kind of clicks her tongue and is like, doing such a thing. I would never.
Oh, random question. Is being naked, does that make it easier to cast spells?
She just kind of giggles and she was like, oh, you may have danced for me that one time, but it didn't mean anything more than that. Come on now. Turns back around and goes back to it. I mean, she's like still very much engaging with you guys, but starts kind of puttering around with the stuff that's on the table here.
Oh, let's maybe not do that again,
Oh, but you were such a good dancer.
It's true, you were.
I mean, I'm a good dancer because I
clap again really quick.
I had to take classes and stuff for that.
I know it's not a style of dancing that I see too frequently.
I pull out the coin and I hand it to her. Like, I need this back, but do you know anything about this?
She grabs it, kind of holds it in her palm, looks it over. She's like, a bunch of not really, but a bunch of mischief makers, from what I understand. Not overly fond of them. They come in here occasionally, which I find a little bold, being people who like to steal things that I would otherwise rather have sold to me. But I don't discriminate. A sale's a sale. So
just a heads up, one of them decided to try and break into my guild leader's office to steal something from him, and they ended up dead.
He clicks her tongue. Naughty.
And now we're worried that there might actually be a war going on between our guilds, and they have the ability to have magic and we don't. So
she's like, yeah, I was gonna say I'm not really familiar with your organization. So that sounds like a poor choice on your part, probably.
Well, they shouldn't have broken into our house.
Well, fair enough, but that doesn't change the uneven ground that you find yourselves upon.
What? They come here and steal from you.
No, I would not recommend that at all.
About to say, I don't think that anyone would want to steal from you.
No, that tends to not go well for people. No, it's more that people bring me things. Like you bring me things, and you take people things, right?
Right.
I enjoy things. I'm an exchanger of things. I like things, and they take things from people that I would rather have sold to me. And then sometimes they try to sell them to me for a higher price, which is bad form, I think. But
so if we could somehow get rid of them, you wouldn't have a problem anymore. What I'm hearing.
I wouldn't be too sad about that. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't exactly call myself in your debt either. I'm doing just fine.
Oh, no,
and
no.
Broadly gestures to her shop full of magic items.
But you tend to sell magical items, and my guild tends to purchase things with their money.
Fair enough. I mean, so do they. So it is a bit of a mixed bag for me, but
it's not like you're beholden to them.
No.
You can sell to both of us.
Yeah, and I don't see them too frequently. They're mostly fancy themselves, masters of their own domain. But some of their craftier members, I've always kind of assumed it's when they've failed to find or steal something that they would have rather gotten. I don't know. Kind of my guess is that they come in here and buy something so that they can pass it off like they stole it.
I see.
So it's nothing too formal. I just I've seen folks with with tattoos or marked clothing or things on occasion with that
tattoos.
Mark. Yeah, I know guys who used to do the same thing. They'd go out fishing, but they couldn't catch anything, so they'd go and buy the fish to say they caught it.
Some of these people have actual marking.
I mean, don't some of yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Can you draw me one of their markings? Is it similar to the one on the coin?
Before you can, as you start to say that, but as soon as you say, can you draw me one of the markings? She just kind of nonchalantly, flicks her hand out to the side, palm up, and kind of a spectral glowing symbol appears in the air. Yes, they think they're very clever. Yes, and then you like I said, she kind of is doing that as you follow that up. So then she's like, yes, the same symbol. I have a very good memory, and and hands you the token back.
Did they ever tell you the name of their guild? A lot of guilds tend to go by a name. Strike fear. And
She kind of purses her lips and crosses her arms and leans, kind of like sits her butt up on the edge of the table and leans back a little bit. She's like, well, now that's a good question, isn't it? It seems like you want a thing from me. I mean, can you give me a thing? What's something that you can tell me that's fun?
Exchange of information. Rubato, you got anything?
What?
Any knowledge, information that you can give Angela in exchange for her information?
Maybe about like old Caps when we went there and visited and saw some weird things.
Oh, yes. Old
That's
Capstone.
I do have a book currently on layaway over at the church. They're going to be delivering to me at some point.
Kind of wrinkles up her nose. She's like, they tend not to be great customers. Why did you give it to them?
I didn't give it to them. They took it.
It wasn't voluntary. He fought tooth and nail.
She just kind of waves that away. Potato.
Yeah.
We have a paladin friend who is a little self-righteous sometimes.
No, it's more that he can't lie to save his life. He's a great guy, really.
Yeah, they tend to not be good at that.
Although, now that you brought that up, I do have this extra spell book I could probably sell you.
Spell book for information?
Well, hopefully for a little pocket change too, but...
Remind me what it is that you have. It's the Goblin book, right?
The Goblin spellbook, yes. It had 3 spells in it, at least, that I could tell.
Yeah.
You don't need any of those?
No, I copied the one out of it that I can use.
Okay.
The one that's supposed to go back to the church.
Do you have it? Are you like proffing it to her, or you're just like bringing it up verbally?
Bringing it up verbally for now.
Okay.
But I do have it with me.
Like as soon as you say it, she kind of, like I said, she's kind of like sitting up just barely on the edge of the table, and she puts her hands down on the edge of the table and kind of like ejects herself off the table with her hands, and kind of like skips over to you, and she's kind of like, oh goody, let me see. And then then you presumably you're like, yeah. Pouts a little bit. She's like, well, I mean that's a different transaction. I may be interested in buying that if you let me see it. But tell me more about whatever it was that you started to say earlier.
Oh, about old Capstone?
Like whatever you called it.
Well, we went there and there are all these ruins, but there was this like basement.
That basement is creepy.
In one of the houses, and there were like, what can I explain these paintings that I saw? They were like vampires, kind of like people, right?
Like ritualistic kind of
not
stuff.
Specifically. I don't think I described it that way in or out of character, but yeah, they looked. I wish I could remember the wording I used. That was a while ago.
It was a while.
Yeah. I think I do think I remembered. I do think I remember commenting that it felt like their eyes followed you. You know, like how some paintings will do that.
Like there's these paintings and their eyes are following me, and then there's like this rat that was there that Ava talked about, who was one of our companions, that was like kind of like trying to communicate with her, from what I gathered from what she was saying.
It looked like there was a little more intelligence behind that rat's eyes than I was there with her.
As you're kind of like prattling on, she kind of like sashays past you, and like, you kind of like, what you're saying is all true, but like she's a little bit bored, so she kind of like goes over to one of the skeletons and kind of like pokes him in the chest, and
then there's like this like altar area, possibly like down this Oh, could we even see down there? Probably not. It was like dark, wasn't it? We
There
just
were
thought it was
lots
like
of
a long hallway with
skeletons.
a rat, and like the rat was trying to bring us down there.
Yeah, you guys didn't go any further there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
No,
then
but
when we left, we all had this like, it made us feel weird. Like we were feeling like we had like, what was wrong with your Rubato?
Oh, I had like oozing pustules and stuff, but I think that was
that's
mostly
right.
from the book that talked about the like the ritualistic sacrifice and summoning.
The what?
Huh?
She's like,
The
"Ooh,
what?
now that sounds interesting. You have that."
No, that's the one the church took from me. That's what I just said.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a pity.
Yeah, they didn't want me having that one for some reason.
You know, it's not the most out there thing they've ever done.
I mean, I kind of get it, but still, it was my book. I found it.
We should get
She's like,
back,
yes, what's a
Rubato.
girl to do, right? I understand.
Mhm. But you also asked a minute ago about finding out if a place no longer existed
Well,
as I walked in.
one thing at a time. One thing at a time.
Mhm.
So where did you say this was?
Oh, that old capstone, a bit north from, well, a bit north from here.
That's not particularly helpful. Do you have like a map?
It's in Rin. You know where Rin is?
Well, she kind of makes her like thanks face. She's like,
I mean, do you have a map here? I don't have a map.
how do you not have a map? Pretty normal thing for people to have.
I mean, I'm not from
She
here.
looks over at Rubato.
Oh, I'm not from here either, but I can. Can I do a silent image of old capstone?
You want to kind of project your own little that seems fitting for you to try and kind of imitate what she did to resolve this as well. Yeah, sure.
I'm not from here either, but I have a map.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Like I
still
said,
think
I
maybe-
have a very good memory. She says, okay. So, unwinding things then. You asked me what they called themselves.
I did.
Very dramatic. They're very proud of it. I find it a little trite, but not everybody has the same taste, I suppose. Their little symbol here, it doesn't actually do anything as far as I know. It's just it's got like a compound word, like counteract, but in runic form. So it says the Shadow Covenant.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh.
and she actually kind of does her. She does little like shadow fingers when she says that, like, ooh. And then when you all pause for a second, and then Rubato's kind of like, sorry, what? She just kind of like lunges forward just a little bit and goes, boo.
I jump back.
as far as you know, they don't actually practice magic.
Oh, I look, I don't know much about these folks. I just see them in here. The ones that I see generally seem pretty self-important, which is often a trait among magic users, and kind of does like a little curtsy. But I couldn't tell you. Most people, she turns like a wary eye upon Rubato, is like, don't try to do magic in my shop. So I haven't, I can't say as I've seen them casting spells, but doesn't mean they're incapable of it. They all I know is they like to procure things.
Hmm.
Have to do now.
Like I'm sure that if you ask around to the right people, especially if you go at night by candlelight and after a few drinks, I'm sure some people would tell you that the covenant is some sort of super magical pact that they have, and who knows, maybe it is, but like I said, those of them that I've interacted with I found to be a bit pretentious and frankly kind of boring. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just as likely to just be something that they made up because it sounded cool.
Thank you for your assistance.
Oh, do we want to go back to
She like really dramatically does like a really deep bow, and she's like, bye.
Well, we didn't Rubato come here for a reason? Just wait with him.
Well, yeah, back to the first question you had asked, Scott.
Hold on. Speaking of covenants, bring me that book if you get.
Wait, which book? There were two books.
the dark
going
one?
Backwards in order, right? The one about the demons and whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah, that should be delivered to us once our new location is finished. We could probably arrange something. Possibly, I can make you a copy or something.
We'll see. That's not. It's been. I don't see that kind of thing very often.
It's possible. Well, I'm sure that I could find something for you to do in payment for that.
Like, okay, now 3 things. 1, 2, 3. She counts it off on her fingers. She's like, yeah. So, what was your question again?
What's the first question that Scar here had asked when I just walked in? Can you tell if a place has been destroyed or is no longer exists? I'm guessing they were talking about my home.
She winks at you and you repeat it because she's just like several times commented on how good of a memory she has.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, well, oh, I like wordplay, but I don't have anything for this one. That's what you're supposed to tell me, frankly.
I see. Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out for sure then.
Mm-hmm. One more quick question. While we're here, last time, a long time ago, when I was here, but when we looked in and we did that thing that what was it that we did? The scrying.
Mm-hmm.
How much was that type of thing? How much would like in gold would that type of thing cost me? Again, to just have, not to buy the rings, but to, like, the service of you using them to do that.
As you're saying that, she turns back to the box of rings and things that's on the table there, and pulls them out. As you recall, there, or as you may recall, I should say, it is a set of rings that kind of like hangs in a chain of 5, and each one of them has a little gemstone or pearl or something. I'm my description of it, but has something set in the top of it, and then when you put them on, like they disconnect, and you put one on each finger. Is 5 of them. So as you're saying that, she goes and pulls them out, and kind of like holds them up as you're describing, and she's like, yes, the scrying. Well, It's a fairly rare ability, not one used lightly or generally without much forethought. So in a way, each time I use them, it gets more expensive. Because the kind of intrinsic value goes up. Those of you that are here, go ahead and make a spot check really. Or, well, those of you that are, well, I guess those of you that are here that were here during the scrying. Actually,
11.
19.
7.
Awesome. It catches your eye as she holds up the chain. That what they are is they're essentially they're like glass donuts, but that are ring sized, and then within the internal space of the donut, so not in the donut hole, but like within the tube of the donut, is filled with like a kind of a crushed up blue stone, and then there's like a little bit of one of those stones that sticks out of the top of each well, and only Scath-Bais sees it, but 3 of the ring gems have like a bit of a sheen to them, and 2 of them, you don't know how exactly, because they're not exactly catching a lot of light or anything, but somehow 2 of them look duller. It's just something you see. You don't have to do anything with that. Of course.
Oh, I want to ask about it. If 3 of them are shiny and 2 of them are dull, like there's a reason. My mind. Yeah, I'm gonna ask. Why do these 2 look different?
Like, well, the first one here points at the bottom one as she's holding up the links. We used for the Lord of the Dance over here, and she does a bit of a twirl, and then well, let's just say the other one's been.
That's sweetie.
I said, let's just say the other one has been used as well. The magic, some items are reusable and some are not. And something like this is only usable 5 times.
Can you get more of them?
Theory. Want to bring me some?
I know where to find them.
Make a sense motive check. Really, any of you that want to, especially Scath-Bais.
$16 total.
Do either of you guys want to, or just Scath-Bais?
Yeah, I'll try. 10.
Oh,
That was so close.
Oh.
You can't help but notice, well, I guess 2 of you can help but notice. Scath-Bais picks up on like a pretty abrupt change in her demeanor. When complaining about the second ring sold. She looks.
I see nothing.
She looks sad.
Did you lose someone?
just silent for a second, then she smiles a little bit. Clever girl.
I am known for being.
What'd you say?
I am known for it.
Oh, I think you said I am nosy.
I didn't get to be where I am in my guild without being smart.
I checked. Kind of chokes up a little bit. She's like, I checked in on someone that you very dear.
Used to be. They're not dear to you anymore?
Glad they're no longer among the living, Rubato.
Well, she kind of starts to say something and then catches herself, and she's like, I know you mean well, but I don't run my business by blabbing my personal life to everyone who comes in here. I mean no offense, but that would be. I just don't want to get into that.
Let's find a different way. We should leave the scrying for her to be able to use her own.
What did you say, sweetie?
I think if she's using the stones for her check-in on her person, that we'll find another way to locate what we're trying to do.
Right. And then to Bahir, she's well, you answer your question most directly. You'd be if I were someone would have to convince me, right? You convinced me of a great need before, and and that awakened in me a great. You'd be looking in the neighborhood of 4,000 to 5,000, probably.
Oh.
And a dance, of course.
Only 4,000 to 5,000, huh?
She tries to, it's maybe not quite as sad of a smile, but she smiles at herself a little bit when she says something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I also used that experimental potion that you gave me.
Like, oh, excellent! How'd it go?
Well, I don't feel like it did. I didn't feel like it did too much, but
I don't remember what.
I rolled pretty bad. Yeah, it was like 4 or something like that. Yeah, it was pretty low.
Like, well, unfortunately, that's the nature of potions. They do have a bit of a shelf life, long though it may be. But I'm sure anyone who's used a healing potion before can tell you that sometimes you're going to get a little more out of it, and sometimes not so much.
Yeah.
But still, I am sorry. I was hoping for an exciting story.
Yeah, no problem.
Did you stick your finger in it and try to scrape all of it out?
No, I can't remember when I think I used it in between, when we were running up to go fight at the gates. I think it's when I used it.
When you say, did you stick your finger in it before Bahir starts answering? She's like, me? No, it was his finger. Oh, she's pointing at one of the skeletons when she says it.
Well, his finger. I mean, I feel like bones are probably like pretty sterile, right? I mean, probably not very many germs on them.
Oh no, I don't think so. I wasn't trying to poison you or anything.
Disease.
But, if you want a special potion, you have to do special things. So I was experimenting.
It's true.
Okay.
I've done some experimenting with potions myself recently. I'm looking at the skeleton's finger.
I mean, like a skeletal finger. Like there's nothing noteworthy about it.
Oh, before also when I asked about like possibly getting a message out to someone, you said you'll see what you could do possibly for after a while in the check back. Did you have you come up with anything yet, or is that still not a possible thing?
Can you remind me what the situation was there?
Like it was before about the scrying, like I was like an audio like message to my brother, like talking. And she said that she didn't really have a way to do that, but she would look into something for that.
I'm afraid nothing's walked through my door that would help with that.
Okay.
I am kind of beholden to the whims of fate, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Okie doke.
Well, then I suppose we could do one last bit of business, and I'll pull out that goblin spellbook. You interested in purchasing a book? It's not the really fun one you were thinking of, but
you have that with you. Sorry, right there.
I saw, and yes, I do.
Okay. He goes and does like turns back around to the table to grab something, and those of you that are particularly observant, you hear also sneak like kind of a quick like rub of her face with her arm. And she like turns back around, her looking like her usual cheery self, and she pulls out a little thing, kind of like those camp chairs, you know, the ones where if you like hold them in the right spot, you can kind of just like flick them, and then you get like a little tripod chair.
Mm-hmm.
She she has like a thing kind of like that in her hand, like, and like flicks it down, and it makes a little kind of like music stand looking thing. And then she kind of like hops up and down from foot to foot really quick, and like rubs her hands together and grabs it, and like, well, let's see what we have here. And she grabs it, opens it up, puts it on the little portable lectern thing that she pulled out there, and like opens it up and kind of like wrinkles her nose, and she's like, "Oh, Rubato, you could have told me it was goblin gobbledygook."
Well, you didn't ask.
Well, touche. Fine. Thankfully I can still read it. Okay, I see here we have, kind of scrolling through. She's like, well, I see burning hands and obscuring mist and command. Oh, that's a fun one. And she looks over at Bahir again.
Wait, I didn't see that one in there.
I thought that was the third one you told me was in there.
No, it was obscuring mist, burning hands, and sleep.
Oh, sleep. Sorry. Okay, wreck on that. And sleep.
I got excited. I was like, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah, I mean, I think command also is a cleric.
Yeah, it's probably also in my band school, but still.
Yeah. Now she keeps kind of leafing through it. She's like, oh, I didn't need to read that. Okay, well, I've seen things like this before, I suppose. I mean, at least the little grubby little hands, he knew how to write. I'll give him that. I didn't really need to read his constitutional log there, but I suppose that's what goblins do.
It's just a bonus, some little backstory on the genius mind behind this book.
Yes. She keeps flipping through it a bit more. She's like, "Oh, okay. Well, there are a couple of others here. I suppose he was trying to be clever. There's a few that are kind of hidden among the journal entries. Nothing too spectacular here. Low level divine magic. Nothing too exciting. But that does mean that there aren't 3 spells in here. There are 4, so that does increase the value a little bit.
You even found one in there that I missed. Look at that.
Gives you a big wink. She's like, "Well, I do have an eye for such things." Raises her eyebrows.
Both our eyes look real.
Her eyes do look real, yes.
Okay.
It's illusion magic, don't worry.
For the sake of getting through scenes here, I can my plan would be to look up, because I don't remember exactly how pricing of spell books is supposed to work. So
it's half 1/2 of 100 gold per page of spells.
Okay.
So if they're all level 1 spells, that would be 100 gold per, and then divided by 2. Yeah.
Got it.
So,
I believe those are all first level spells.
the 3 that I knew of were, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So then that was would have been total of 150, 200 if you count the 4th spell as being a first level as well, but it could have been a cantrip or something as well, which is a half page, right? I think cantrips are half pages.
Probably. And I'm like, okay, well, for low level spells, and it specifically says that's the value when selling one. Like, how is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Captured spell books can be sold for a gold amount equal to 1/2 the cost of purchasing and inscribing the spells within. That is 1/2 of 100 gold per page of spells.
She's like, well, okay, so you normally, ideally this would go for a couple 100 gold. We're also got to make a profit, though. How would you feel about 175?
See, now I was torn on selling it. How about 180, and we'll call it good. That way I can buy the lady some wine.
Do you indicate anybody when you say that?
Yeah, I point to Scath-Bais.
Oh, okay. Because otherwise she was going to absolutely lean into that.
Scott standing next to me, oblivious to that.
Right.
No, I like wine.
Right.
Fine.
So you say that, and then she's kind of like, And none for me. Rubato, I'm hurt.
Oh, well. We could talk.
Talking right now.
What kind of wine do you like?
Say how much or what wine?
What kind, yes.
It's like, oh, I'm a spice of life kind of girl. And again, kind of like gestures broadly.
I see. Okay. I'll find something interesting for you. We'll be doing some traveling, so I'm sure we can find some interesting stylings.
Like I won't be a bit of a homebody, I'm afraid, but yeah, bring me a little bit of something, and maybe the sorry, I just thought of this myself. She's like, I'll tell you what, bring me something interesting, and the next potion that of cure wounds that you buy from me, I'll stick his finger in it. Points at the other skeleton.
Ooh. Sounds good. See if that finger works any better. Just make sure it's a finger, no toes or anything else.
Toes.
Like, what do you take me for? She's like, fine. 180 it is. And the promise of future wine.
Mm-hmm. I will be sure to look for some interesting wine for you.
The girl does get bored.
I have it notated right here.
So she grabs her little wand that she uses to direct the skeletons and points it at each of them in turn, and one of them clatters over on the stone floors and grabs the book off the lectern and walks it back to the table. It's kind of more in the back of the room there, and the other one comes jingling its way back over to you with a little, I don't know, I guess it would be reasonably sized. Like, as we talked about a little while ago, coins are probably not as big as most people tend to envision them, but still 180 of them would be of reasonable size. But it comes, you kind of hear the clinking of the coins as it like sways a little bit as it clacks across the floor to you. And
that's my favorite song. That's my favorite song.
And it just kind of like walks up to you holding the bag out, and she stops it with the wand. She's like, oh, don't you wish? He likes to be a little bit more generous with my money than I do. Hold on now. And takes it and like pours it out on the table, and she's not trying to like hide it from you or anything. Like pours it out on the table and makes a little stack of 5 or whatever, and then grabs a handful more, and it's I don't know how much, if you've ever played like poker or whatever, but how you get even sized stacks of like poker chips or whatever. You make a stack of 5 or 10 or whatever, and then you just grab a handful and make a stack until it's the same height that was. Right. Over and over. So she gets out 180 gold coins. They are of like, if you examine them a bit, they are of like varying mint and strike and whatnot, but they all appear to be roughly the same weight of gold. Like, looks like a fair trade, not exactly grounds of Rin.
Fun. How much extra was sitting on the table after the 180? A lot.
Probably about 100.
Okay. Fantastic. One goblin spellbook for you.
Like, yes, now I have to decide whether to keep it as it is or just extract the pages.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of liked it just the way it was. It, gives it that extra flair, little styling.
Yeah, not exactly my the books I enjoy to read, but it's also not for me. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Maybe I'll just leave it as is, and then we'll see if anybody's kind of wrinkles up her nose again into that. Shakes her head. But I suppose I can always remove the pages later if I need to.
Yeah, I mean, you have a used book section, right?
Like as you say that, like you hear the start of like some paper ripping in the back, and she's like, "Not yet." The other skeleton, like, and then you hear like a thunk as the other skeleton like drops the book on the table in the back and like starts coming like clacking back up to the front.
He wasn't going to use it as toilet paper, right? He doesn't need that.
No, he likes to half listen.
Oh, okay.
That's why that's why I tend to use this, and like takes the wand and points it at it again, and then it like stops, like jumps up on one foot and does like a pirouette, and then like steps back down, and then like keeps clacking over to the door.
One day I may have to buy that from you. But here does dance quite nicely.
Like, oh, you wish.
Hey, a guy can have dreams.
True, but a lady's got to have some fun.
That's true. That's true. I'd have to find something fun to replace it with then. Well, I appreciate the information as well as the coin. It looks like we have some information to go and gather for you as well as for ourselves.
Like, indeed you do. Kind of like looks at you expectantly.
Well, shall we?
I think my ears zoned out.
Yeah, sorry. What?
You're good.
Yeah.
I believe we're off.
Yeah.
Yep. Off we go.
See you next time.
As you right as you kind of like hear the whoosh in your ears and feel the sense of vertigo, you hear just kind of like fadingly behind you called out like, "Bring me something fun."
We'll find more fun, I'm sure.
You know where I think there might be something fun at? The ruins of old Capstone.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
I want to go
Where
visit
that
that
rat
witch
was
before
trying
we
to take
go.
us.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
We're gonna go visit that witch before we go.
Oh, are we?
Oh, don't worry, I'll be civil.
No, I heard some venom in that civil there.
There's always venom when I talk on the snake, remember?
I don't know, I think you talk quite nice most of the time.
Black snake.
Okay. I think we can cut back over to Alondite, who's been plenty patient with us there. You and Breen have been here for a bit, not a super long time, but maybe 10-15 minutes later. He's been kind of egging you on to show him what you've been working on with Aamina and whatnot. And then I'm not actually gonna call him Steve. That's obviously just a placeholder name. But this guy shows up and is like, "Hey, boss. A little weird being in here. What's Scath said you needed me?" And Breen lays out the whole thing for him, and he's like, you know what? I just felt like it had been too long since we did a little something special for our friend Alondite here. The guy's like, eh? And he's like, so he's been working on training his horse, and I tell him that you are an expert at that, and he could use a hand, you know. So this fine steed here, kind of like slaps her on the rump, is in the process of becoming a deadly beast of war, but she's not there yet. So I'll leave you to it. And walks by, kind of like claps the guy on the shoulder, and then walks off.
It's gonna be good.
Gonna like maneuver Aamina over to like, are you serious? Like, the what?
Are you saying that to Breen?
Like kind of like mumbling under my breath in like a confused state, like I'm kind of like looking both ways, like, oh, okay, like, all right, show me what you got, I guess, because I thought this was going to be a group effort, but clearly not.
The guy sketches you a quick bow. Oh, there we go. Oh, well, the first one counts. The second one doesn't. It's not a very good bow, but he tried. And he's like, nice to meet you, my lord. My name is Alphonse, and I grew up on a horse farm. I've done a ton of horse breaking. I'm sure Breen would have been quite useless at it, unless you wanted him here for his scintillating conversation. I'm sure I could get him brought back.
The more noise and targets, the better.
Targets.
He kind of throws up a half-cocked smile and is like, "Oh, I'm sure he'd love to come back." And since he signed me up for this, I think it's all fair that he join us. Excuse me for a quick minute. And then he kind of jogs over to the guard tower, like calls up them and is like, "Hey, can you send somebody to run him down?"
Yeah, make the boss stay. Make the boss stay and help. Sure. I see that smirk, Scott.
So, like, a minute later or so, Breen shows back up and, like, kind of scowling a little bit. And then he, shortly after he gets back within sight of y'all, he like pastes a big cheesy grin on his face. He's like, "Well, hi, what's up, guys?" And Alphonse is like, "Oh, boss, you seemed so excited about all this. I thought for sure you'd want to be here to oversee the results and and learn the basics of horse handling all on your own. And what an opportunity! How could you pass this up?" And Breen comes over.
So you got like a smoke bomb or two on you, don't you? Something to help distract and create confusion, and great tactics and ingenuity to create complex situations, right?
You gonna throw stuff at your horse?
Yeah, that is the point of creating like frantic situations for my horse.
Breen leans back against one of the posts here and is like, "Yes, do tell, good Professor Alphonse." Alphonse like throws something over past Aamina, and there's like a little like poof of smoke that he throws at Breen. He's like, "Surprise! Round one. Make a animal handling check."
And we're off. Ba-da-ba-ba.
Animal handle or ride?
Whichever. Sorry, but yeah, presumably ride. I think you have a bigger bonus too.
Yeah, ride is plus 12.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, of course, Aamina, especially not used to things like that, does, I guess it wouldn't be buck necessarily because it's behind her, but like kind of starts to rear, and you get her under control immediately. And at the same time, you notice that like as she's reared back, Breen actually kind of like dashes under her legs. And you manage to like pull the reins to the side and have her land her forelimbs back down safely without hurting anybody. Make me a lesson check really quickly.
Oh, this is where everything falls apart.
You're gonna crush Bryn.
7 -4.
I wonder if that means I'll become the leader.
That's a 3.
Well, okay, so you don't hear what's said, but Breen says something to Alphonse really quickly. The two of them kind of like look at each other for a minute, and then like Breen turns and looks back up at you, and he's like, well done, and like gives a big like applause, and he's like, just as I knew you could do it.
Again.
He kind of like saunters off and is like, well, let me know when you need me, and goes over and like leans against the well.
Again.
Again.
So okay. Alphonse does, in fact, seem to know, his way around horses. He's definitely not just like a nincompoop or anything like that. So he's like, all right, let me, go ahead and get her in motion. And I don't have, not going to do that 100 times, but we can kind of throw some stuff at her feet, and and like I can kind of like charge at her with my arms up, and there's some spare weapons and shields over there, so I can bang them together next to her ear, and just kind of like generally we can work on like exposure training her around battlefield noises, and then if both of you do well, then we can do another smoke bomb in a little bit, and then Breen can get me some new ones. He goes over here.
You should ask for some of those for yourself, just saying. For training purposes.
How much do those cost? Those were actually quite effective.
Alfonso, I don't know. I don't pay for them.
I'd have to poke around a little bit. I don't remember, but he gives you an answer that makes sense.
I was actually kind of half expecting one of the gold buckets in.
Right. So, all right. If you want to do more of that in detail, we can, but obviously we are up against the clock a little bit IRL. Do you want to call that good and make a couple of rolls, or do you want to roleplay that out a little bit more?
Could you just do the rolls? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I'll say that you can do whichever you want. You can roll 2d20, like, so it's not exactly advantage, but like you can roll twice, and then take whatever successes you get, or you can roll once and it counts as 2.
Ooh, boys.
Mathematically, it's the same. It's just kind of like what feels more fun to you.
Those would both be passes.
Indeed. So, you will need to still spend time doing it. It's not just the, that one scene that we played out. But you do find that working with somebody else that like actually knows what they're doing, and isn't just like, a friend like doing their best, but like it's different. Or like just the stable boy who's, although they work around horses, is not exactly a horse trainer. So you play well, actually, off of Alphonse, and you're working well with Aamina, and you guys stop somewhere along the line for a drink and a quick bite that Breen goes and makes himself useful to get from somewhere in the camp, and after that, he's like, "All right, you've earned yourself another smoke bomb," and this time, like, throws it like right at Amina's face.
Ooh.
And but with your rolls were both great, like, right? Those are like, that's like 30 and almost 30 or something. So you guys handle it no problem. Like Amina's reaction is quickly tamed, and you guys are doing well, and you're working on, you spend a little bit of time working on her footwork, and you work on probably at some point get out of the campgrounds a little bit so you have more room, like maybe go outside the wall for half an hour and work on her her gallop and her canter, and all of her various steps and whatnot, and then come back in and like work on the battle training a little bit more, and it's you finish your training session feeling highly accomplished.
It was a good day.
You could not have done it without them. Well, you might have, but not to that degree, I guess.
What do you think, Aamina? Smoke bombs are a new training regimen? I'm kind of taps and carrots.
And as you go to do that, Breen's like, "Oh, right, carrots." Like hands up the ones that he yoinked from that stand, like 3 hours ago on the way by. It's like, sorry, I was
Distracted.
riveted. It slipped my mind. Honestly, it probably actually would be a lot of fun to watch, but he'd rather be doing other things.
No, he doesn't have anything pressing at this moment, I'm sure.
No, not at all.
So there's nothing in
Just
his
a body
office.
in his office.
Do appreciate your help this evening or this afternoon.
Hire him.
You've cleared my mind of some things.
Breen perks up at that, and he's like, "Excellent, that's exactly what I was hoping for. Glad to be of service."
Sense motive.
They just looks back. He's like,
that is what he was
right.
hoping for. There's no lie there.
yeah. He's like, we're supposed to be doing something. Like, yeah, I did that. Yeah. Like, okay, all right. Well accomplished.
As you guys are kind of finishing up and and winding down, and they're getting ready to excuse themselves, Alphonse is like, "Hey, boss, this actually was a blast. Like, can I do it again tomorrow?" And Breen is like, "You absolutely can, buddy. I my everlasting shame, will not be able to make it tomorrow. But if the two of you want to get together and play, have a blast.
Yeah, we worked really well.
And then he does kind of the little bow hand flourish thing from his forehead. And before you can say another word, kind of takes off for the gate to the camp.
Runs for the hills.
Run to the
What was his name again?
Well, that was Breen that I was describing, but Alphonse, Alphonse, was the guy that was helping you. He doesn't run out quite the same way, but he makes nice chatter with you for a little bit and is complimentary of Aamina, her stock and whatnot, and then after a cordial conversation, he excuses himself as well.
Well, at the end of that, I just finished grooming her and treating her hose. And I start contemplating whether or not I'm going to start fastening her with personally handcrafted shoes that I designed for her and take the time crafting.
Okay.
Ooh.
I just need the resources because I am a farrier. I just don't have ever committed the proper time to it.
Ah, right.
Well, one of the guys you had been speaking to recently happened to have used to work for a mine or something, right?
Yes.
In fact, the one that they hired, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that was all we hired.
Yeah. There are two other fairly quick scenes that I was thinking about trying to get to. Probably depending on how we play them, 5 to 10 minutes each. Are people down to squeeze out those last couple things, or are you go?
The mighty Amras, are you good for 20-ish more minutes? You be going because it's late.
I should be going. Yeah, I've got to be up tomorrow.
Okie doke.
Yep, no worries. We can pick up with that next time.